no stuns either.
Both mid laners actually having a really good game. Not even a single death on both of them. Ori also 8 and 0.
Wow.
Going into Kaya Sanj, which is one of the best items in the patch, I would say.
For sure.
Even after the nerfs, the status resistance, plus the spell amp just feels so good to have on certain heroes.
Yeah, like Lash, Void Spirit is a spectacular item. And also got a couple of Spirit Vessel charges still there up his sleeve as well, so he'll very likely be holding them for whenever they find Miracle Morphling isolated, or the ability to jump onto the Morphling with the Earth Spirit and the Void together. But Nigma, they're going to know that it's nearly Roshan time. We're getting to that point where it's fast spawn time. So these smokes are looking to secure themselves the top area of the map, get some kills, pick off DY here, and it looks like it should be a pretty simple one for Miracle to continue his streak.
And that's godlike for Miracle. Roche will respawn in 2 minutes, so they don't need to rush things. They could potentially take a tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Tier 1 also still standing there. So
free money.
Yeah, free gold on the map.
Absolutely is. That's why we've got these couple of heroes here. Void Spirit pushing the bottom lane, showing on the map, and Faceless Void playing off map in these jungle camps, just trying to extract as many resources from the map as they possibly can. But the Wolves are always scouting them. Like, wherever we look at these Vici Gaming heroes, they have a wolf on them. There's Vision, and Miracle, oh, he's not going to find him. Beautiful attempt to try and catch the Earth Spirit on his escape, but not quite there.
What a wild game. Like, score pretty much even. Vici Gaming leading in terms of net worth. You know why?
Doom?
There you got it. Got it, Gary. A lot of it. Like, this is where Doom shines. Like, he wants these mid-game fights when he gets the items going into Shiva's Guard. His next item, if it comes down to that, should be a refresher. And then you potentially have 3 Doom targets if you can execute. Problem is, DY does not have a cast range item and didn't find a neutral one, didn't build into one, instead decided to go for a Force Staff, which is okay, you know, forcing people out of the cogs is something nice, but you need to be close. You need to be standing close to the fight. The cast range on that Soul Bind is not too good. They're getting scouted by the Wolves.
Yeah, everywhere they go, the Wolves will follow. And they try to smoke there again, vying for control around the Roche pit. What's the timer now? 10 seconds. And Nigma are the ones that look like they're in prime position to try and grab this. But Vici are also ready. They've scanned the pit. They know that something's not quite right. RTW, here we go. Shapeshift forward with a great hook shot. Catches 2 of them on the outskirts of the battle. PYW almost blown up, but he survives. Old Levin and Boyo back towards the Wolf. They need the Chrono to catch him, and they will. The Cookie, nothing will save him at all. And also in the back, the Doom and the catch. Mind control down to Old 11, all around the Roshan spawn. What a huge fight for Vici.
Vici Gaming, they're not done. They're still chasing. They're going to get this one as well.
But Tier 1 Tower still alive, and Morphling in the back. He's hunting for targets, but unsuccessful in his attempts. Maybe Nigma can stop them taking Roshan, though, as Vici Gaming have 5 alive up against the 2 of GH and Miracle.
They need to get something done out of this, like potentially get one more kill, or if they want to wait, just reset, get your ultis back up, and go for that Roche fight.
There's Tier 1 tower mid, there's Roshan, and look at Miracle's positioning right now. Angling towards a free kill. He attempts it on the Void Spirit.
And he
gets it! The 8x streak demolished! Miracle, beautiful pick off. Now that's going to stop Vici Gaming in their tracks. GH will gladly die for the cause.
800 gold for Morphling on top of it, and now he's getting closer to the lane.
He's going to get another kill here, maybe. DY on the run. Miracle in that Faceless Void mode again. Already used his time dilation, time walk off to the side, and GH even buys back to secure the Roshan for Nigma. It looked good for Vici Gaming with a Team 5 victory around that perfect timing, but Nigma are the ones that will claim the prize.
Yeah, they cannot take this fight anymore. No Doom, no Chronosphere. It's Cheese Ages plus a Shard. I want to see who gets the Shard. I would give it to Snapfire potentially, or Clockwork for the memes.
The jetpack memes?
Jetpack memes. It's not as bad as people think. I'm kind of convinced Darkseer actually holding it for now.
Okay.
Normal punch. And he's going to be punching people like anime. Yeah, we're here. That's why he decided to get it.
That very, very fitting. In with the theme. He's got Blink Dagger as well, so he could, you know, jump onto that Faceless Void or punch him. See what he can get done. The second Aegis,
he got buffed. Like, do you get the max stun easily now? And also Howl. the disability attack damage reduction, it's not maxed out yet, but once it will be 40% and also armor -8. How is that balanced, Gary?
It's pretty bonkers. Such a good debuff there coming out from RTW. I guess Snapfire's got no points in Scatter Blast. Did I see that right?
Yeah, that's why they decide to give her a shard. It's like one of the old memes. Buys Aghanim Scepter.
Doesn't level up the skill.
Exactly, doesn't level up ulti.
Well, Kuro looks like he's holding a point there as his talent tree flashes. We've got Morphling. Shawl sending the Grove Bow back. And Nigma just regrouping, resettling themselves to think about that bottom lane push and maybe the attempt on high ground in the next minute or two. Well, Vici.
And because he picked up the Aegis, doesn't need to go for Linken's here. He's not afraid of the Doom. Instead decides to go for Scotty. More slow, just better stats overall.
Yeah, slow down these melee heroes, right? You mentioned there's no real ranged threat from Vici Gaming up against the Faceless Void, the Void Spirit, and the Doombringer. Kiting and slowing them such an important part and factor here for Miracle's gameplay. As it looks, or is he going to try and do an illusion bait? Are they going to go for this? He sent the real hero with an illusion to the tower, and he's trying to bait with his second illusion, but they're running away from it. Not going to try and fall for any kind of play by Miracle.
They know which one is real.
They spot him out.
Still, lead for Vici Gaming in terms of kills. Well, Doom. That's where the goal comes from. It's a goal factory, pretty much.
And I guess Lycan not really the fastest farmer, is he?
He tends to be in the fights. He's not the same hero anymore. No Necrobook, as you mentioned. But I like what he's doing. I think maybe his second item instead of Armlet should have been that Orchid. It was a popular build before, especially in Southeast Asia. Get the Necro into Orchid and just completely destroy one hero because they have no hook shot.
Oh, the vacuum though finds PYW, but he's got another roll away. Oh, the little puppy steps in front of GH, but Miracle, he's snuck into the back here. Kisses expended by Kuro, and it looks like PYW are going to get slapped down. Miracle's there with a Skadi slow, great roll to the high ground, and he's even BKB'd himself up to survive.
RTW has done a really good job. It's like he's playing a Beastmaster, or the old Lycan with the Necro, just providing the vision for the team has been crucial in some of these team fights.
Yeah, it gives the openings for everybody. The Morphling, the Clockwork, even they Snapfire to launch some of those big globs of lava at people. But another situation where Nigma feel the need to fall back and push out their lanes and slowly meander their way across the river towards the objectives they want. Vici Gaming.
There's going to be a huge problem when they get the next set of items. On Doom, a refresher, he's getting there. Like, he needs the just 2,000 gold to finish it off. Shiva's Guard as well on top of it. So they're going to have Holy Trinity of the items, which I like to call against certain heroes like a Morphling. You have Spirit Vessel, you have Shiva's Guard, and Faceless Void will have a Scotty.
Yeah, it's perfect. To the point where Vici Gaming, they're in late game at this point, you know. We've got these huge items coming up for them. Yeah, scaling really, really well. Well, now Nigma starting to become more and more like that 4 Protect 1 around Miracle's Morph. And he's moving forward again with these Wolves. RTW scouting everything that Vici Gaming are up to.
I would love to see a gem. Just gem getting picked up so they can smoke, not necessarily invest into sentries. They're waiting for Roach. Like, they're waiting for this Aegis to expire, and it's gonna expire in the next 25 seconds.
There's a hook shot in. They want to make the most of it, and they get straight on the face. It's Void, he's dead. Has a buyback ready if they want to pop it, because Old 11's going in deep. Hunting with his Doom onto Mind Control. They kill off Boyo, and Mind Control drops as well, while RTW turns the Wolf, helping Miracle get that beyond godlike streak. PYW, we've got a good Magnetize going, but a double kill Morphling just slaughtering them. Vici Gaming
is gone in 5 seconds. Can they time it?
He can get away with a roller coaster. He's turned into Earth Spirit. Waveform TPs, and he's out of there. Nigma move in, they strike. They get 3 buybacks off the back of that as well.
That was such a big play, because Faceless Void, he felt secure. He felt secure. There are no silences whatsoever. I can get away with this item build. Suddenly, Orchid reveal from Lycan, and they managed to burst him down from 100 to a 0, forced 3 buybacks, and it's time for Nigma to go. Like, there's still a Chronosphere up, but I feel like if they win another fight, the game just ends, because they have enough damage with the Morphling. A Morphling could potentially even buy back. There's still tier 1 tower to TP to easily on a mid lane and just get back into the fight.
Yeah, and they're going to have pretty much everything, right? The Kisses are back. They'll have Shapeshift and Wall reasonably soon. And they are waiting in that mid lane spot to see if anybody comes to shove the wave, and it looks like the Wolf leading the charge.
Again.
They spot Poyoyo. They see the Faceless Void.
He knows.
It's time.
There it is.
GH catches him with a hook shot. Never mind. No follow-up. That was scary though for Vici.
Style points. You know, we can get you if we want to, but we don't want to end the game.
Just poking the angry ogre, making sure they know who's boss. Miracle gonna go down to bottom, shove that wave out and close the net around the little fishies of Ichi Gaming. They're being shoved back into the bunker that is the Dire base. Only one hero there. You see the Void Spirit out on the map anywhere, and even he has to TP back because he is afraid. And there's that gem you mentioned. Let's see if they use it to smoke up out of this real sticky situation. There's a long line drawn.
Took them a while to pick up that gem because it's super annoying to play into. There they are, already scouting. You don't necessarily need to deal damage with them. It's all about that reveal.
Hello, little doggos. Bye. Now what's the... There's the move. Smoke time. These double dooms going. And PYW's been pretty good at finding these targets with his rolls, adding the Ink Swell from DY. As we do have that Infernal Blade Aghanim Shard, yeah, like the Observer's showing there, so even more potent percentage-based damage onto a hero like Morphling.
I've been trying to think what ILTW stands in this particular game. The best I could think of so far is I like the Thurn and then like Into, which is not there, Wolf. But yeah,
I like the Wolf.
I like the Wolf pretty much. Yeah.
Just stick with that.
Keep it simple, okay, Gary? Thank you.
You set it up. I'll do the proofreading. Don't you worry.
Boom, there it goes.
Very patient though from Nigma, isn't it? There's no need to rush, no need to go too headstrong into these situations.
And Faceless Void, changing his mind, needs to get that defensive item going into BKB next.
Okay.
Understands if they silence me, it's been shown in the previous fight, I can just straight up die.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, right? He went to the Ashen Wide and go for Manta or BKB, so he doesn't have a Dispel. And I guess Satanic, not really something that's on the cards for the Faceless Void either.
Satanic is also a Dispel, which, but
it's a bit wonky to fit it into this kind of build.
I think he also wanted to have something to defend against E-Blade, because if he gets Ethereal inside a Chrono, there's not going to be any damage. Still, they don't have any real damage. Well, they have 3 melee heroes and the 1 range hero, which actually does not deal damage inside a Chrono anyway.
And you don't want to have to BKB to get rid of an E-Blade, do you? Let's see what he gets up to. And it's Vici Gaming still not able to take down that mid-tier 1. 36 minutes in. They get some good vision down, and they are here, ready to make the jump onto whoever shows to push out that mid-catapult wave. And it's ILTW. Shows under the ward. Do they go for this? Of course they will. Blink Stop Doom. Old 11's in. They make the jump onto it. The Chrono catches Nigma. 3 heroes in the bubble. Pants down Nigma. They're getting slaughtered there. Michael has to fight back. ILTW does it as well. Snapfire will return to the battlefield. The vacuum wall. MC. He's on top of all of them. Miracle's in trouble though. He's lost the majority of his Agi. He's had to shift straight to strength. Comes back in as the Faceless Void as the roll across. Misses out on him. Spirit can't catch him. And BG Gaming come out with a double kill. But Doom, he's in trouble.
Still alive.
They're still taking him down. Miracle. He got Poyoyo. The finishing blow. Gets the godlike streak to continue. PYW is caught up there with a battery assault, and RTW, he's hunting for them, bashes the Earth Spirit, gets caught up in the nice little remnant, but he's dead. 100 seconds.
3 buybacks by Nigma. This is something that I mentioned at the start of the series. It's gonna come down to that. You want to bait one of the big spells, like a Doom or a Chronosphere, instantly buyback, and try to win a fight 90 seconds without Faceless Void.
How long on Roche?
45 seconds. So they need to go mid, like potentially get 2 sides. I don't think they can finish the game 80 seconds. We'll see Doom getting closer to that refresher. What he can do is, okay, he actually has enough money. That's it. Hookshot misses. We heard the sound.
But yeah, that was the fight where we were expecting Nigma to, take out these heroes that don't have buyback. So really,
It's a full minute still, Gary.
are they going to jump? Miracle's getting caught down here. They've got the refresher orb. Old 11 with the soul bind.
He got the buyback.
He's going to die. He's got for a minute and a half. And they've caught RTW as well. Wolf stopped him. Lycan's an absolute goner.
Oh, they did not respect that. What a play from 11. He actually gets enough money for refresher. Even if he didn't, I think he could potentially sell the Midas, get the gold, and just surprise them. Like, he surprised that Morphling. Morphling needs 800 gold for buyback. So next Roshan is up. Vici, they don't know that. It's very hard to have a good read whether he has or does not have enough money for that buyback. And they can go inside the pit once Faceless Void.
Look at the lead now! 12k lead for Vici Gaming. I mean, this Nigma side, they really needed to push their advantage a little bit earlier on because Roshan is about to be scouted out by Vici. They move into the pit. 4 heroes alive. Void ready, like you say, in about 5 seconds. And there's still that minute window.
Like,
they can't stop it.
Try to go in, potentially like sacrifice one of the heroes and try to steal something. What's Roshan gonna drop? It's Cheese Ages plus a refresher. So potentially, Gary.
Oh, how many?
Potentially 4, but there's also a possibility that they add another one. Let's say you double doom someone with the Grimstroke ulti, so that's 2. One hero dies, and then it latches to another hero, and then you'd like doom him again.
That's too much math going on there.
Yeah, they could, like right now they have 4. Maybe they give it to Faceless Void, because Faceless Void has enough mana to actually cast 2 Chronosphere. Before he was struggling as a hero, but now you build into these stats. You also get the stats on your own levels, so not bad, and getting closer to BKB.
Yeah, he's nearly got that, you're right. Oh, that is absolutely huge for Vici. Doombringer up at the top of the network at 25k, overtaking, leapfrogging across Miracle's Morphling. And Nigma now the ones.
He decided not to get Lincolns in the end, just went for the full butterfly, has a Scotty, finds Spell Prism, and of course finds Illusion Escape on top of it.
Perfect.
Because it's just a thing. Ice Frog and Gaben, they love to give certain items to certain heroes. Personal gifts, here you go.
Here you go. And what level's the Dagon on the Void Spirit? I saw he started picking up Dagons now.
Oh, it's pretty high. It's actually Dagon 5.
It's Dagon 5 already? Jeez.
So what they want to do with Void Spirit, like all that damage amplification from Kaya Sanj, has also Enchanted Quiver, level 25, to simulate stuns for 2.5 seconds. So a lot of stuns, like Earth Spirit going in. You have Doom with also Shard upgrade, so that stun is increased by 0.6 seconds on top of it. You have a Vor Stomp. And this is it, like Doom, he's ready to go. This is what you've been waiting for. Like this, like until this point, you weren't really playing a game. Like now the fun starts.
Now you're suddenly an actual hero that you picked it for. Oh my goodness. Yeah, late game hitting here. Real hard for Vici Gaming, getting into the groove of things. And they are smoking down south. It looks like Morphling was just in that bottom right-hand corner, the elbow of the map, hiding away in the trees. Vici Gaming won't be able to spot him out, as it looks like he has a Blink Dagger queued up on Miracle there. So I guess the Swift Blink might be coming for him. I'll wait to jump in and out of these fights a little bit better.
Bought a book and now has 2 waveform charges, also gets a blink, so he can get in and out of the fights, potentially blink out of the Chronosphere, but what he wants to do is blow up Grimstroke. Yeah. Like Leash mechanic, too powerful to play against DY, not a single defensive item, just a Force Staff, could potentially make play with the Trickster Cloak that he's holding, just be invis in team fights. Right now, they have no gem on side of Nigma. Couple of sentries on Kuro, and that's it.
Yeah, and all of these tier 2 towers, they've been waiting for Vici Gaming just to come and claim. It looks like reasonably free money if they can actually get on top of the towers down bottom and mid. But Nigma, they're making their move up top. Force Vici Gaming away from where they want to play and more into that top jungle area.
If Vici Gaming can clean like 2 supports first, they are gonna win this fight so easily. Doom, at the moment, level 25, plus 2.4 seconds Infernal Blade damage. Nice. The more HP you get, the more damage you deal. So against Morphling, one of the best abilities in the game, percentage-based damage-wise. Anything is good. Superb.
Oh, hello. Morphling. Where's he gone? The waveform's away. They're still rolling. PYW trying to give chase, but Miracle's into Earth Spirit mode. Time dilation. I don't think it quite caught him, and he's got the Manta to dispel it anyway. Old 11 Poyo. PYW have to give up on the chase for now. And that's given a bit of time here for Nigma to grab up some additional items. That BKB on Lycan has arrived. And it feels like they might want to go out smoke across the map themselves. Oh, is having to address that top lane, though, contending with the push from Nigma, which has just been shoving that top wave in consistently. It's something Vici Gaming have to keep in the back of their minds at all times.
I love this build on Ori. Just all in.
Oh, man,
Does
yeah.
not have a single defensive item. Finds a Spell Prism, because why not? Why wouldn't you lower the cooldown on all of your abilities? Plus Dagon.
Miracle. Oh, boy, down to about 500 HP or so. But it's like we said at the end of the draft at the start of the game, isn't it? Vici Gaming, their draft is very much all in. Once they commit real hard for targets, for kills, and for team fights. So having the optimization that follows through on it feels really good.
And know what, Gary? Backtrack talent, 20% now available on Faceless Void, so things could get tricky. Let's say you dodge full E-Blade damage. Thank you, Ice Frog. Like, I'm gonna go in and just win a game off that.
Super powerful stuff. And they've got the double outpost again. Real presence on the map from Vici Gaming. And Radiant's vision right now, it is pretty much that top lane ward and one in their own triangle that's quite deep. So they don't see the smoke maneuver that Vici Gaming are pulling right now. Still a while for that next Roshan to spawn, around 3 minutes it looks like. But the potential to try and grab Miracle here. As the Aegis is reclaimed, DD Void Spirit front lines for his squad. They'll hold back with the smoke and don't jump just yet.
A bit limited on tower damage for Vici Gaming, that's why they are respecting Nigma. The good jump they can have with the Clockwork, and follow up, of course, with the Morphling.
Yeah. And they're just de-warding everything. We've got double wards now in that top jungle area. It looks like there's a bit of a catch on the Snapfire. A nice little freebie there for the Void Spirit. Ori with that DD still going.
Kuro, thanks one for the team. And look,
someone needs to be out there pushing waves.
500 gold he got for that kill.
Wait, really? Because it was a solo kill.
Solo kill by Ori, level 27, so he's going to have other talents online on top of it. Already has mana regen plus the damage available.
I saw an arcane blink for the Doombringer now as well, so...
Lower the cooldown.
Yeah.
That's all what this is about. Has a
So
quickening charm on top of it. 10.6 seconds on the Vorse Stomp. Infernal Blade, 3.5 seconds. The duration, 1.2.
Yeah, for that Doom as well. I mean, real huge for Old 11. Miracle in the shadows sends out the Illusionist's Cape illusion. It's immediately zapped by the Dagon of Ori, making a stand there against Miracle. It's still been a good job for this Morphling to get farm out on the map, which has been closing in around them for the past 10-15 minutes. But it honestly feels like this next team fight is it's just going to end the game one way or the other. People are going to run towards the buildings, and
we still have buybacks. 9 out of the 10 heroes will have a buyback available soon. The only one who's not close is Mind Control on the darts here.
He buys the Scythe of Ice. He comes in, but Ori's out. They don't get the finish. That Kaya Sanj helping him to slip away from MC and Miracle.
Miracle playing a different game, understands that they're in a spot where he needs to do Miracle stuff and decides to buy Hex on Morphling, something we don't see usual.
No. Well, they've been struggling with that catch and kill, and it feels like GH Clockwork not able to really offer them that consistently. So the Scythe of Ice definitely helping out. There has been very good, patient, defensive play from Nigma when they know they're behind, they know they need something fantastic to come out of Miracle's Morphling.
No Lotus Orbs on Nigma, just to turn it back to Doom so he can get another Doom off, which could potentially be a pretty big deal, and just be able to remove the silences, remove the time dilation. Faceless Void picked up the shard. There's so many memes stuff in game right now, like Clockwork with his shard, and now we have One Punch with the Darks here. Faceless Void with the Rewind. I wish I had this rewind mechanic.
Oh, yeah?
When I say something stupid during the cast, I just go back. Didn't say it.
You've never said anything stupid, I don't think.
Nope.
Everybody just laughs at you. Oh, Morphling illusions contended with by Ori. No problems there. But it's a very unusual map state to be in. Enigma are the ones moving out, pressuring lanes and continually pushing with the Lycan Wolves, with the Morphling, and Vici Gaming almost scrambling to find these fights, but it's not like a desperate scrambling. They're not in a rush to do things. They're still just looking for that perfect pick-off which can swing them into an objective or a Roshan or a high ground push. It's quite a delicate position to be in.
23k gold lead for them. Doom also getting some higher levels, higher than 25. Not the best talent that he gets.
Ooh. A DD rune on Morph. Does he want to do something with it? That's the question. Do you want to go out and play the map with this DD rune, look for a team fight, or do you want to sit back and farm a little bit more? Because you've got some big items going out. Shape shifted.
Already going in.
Yes, the ball's going. They've got a silence onto the Void Spirit now, but he's managed to get himself away and cheeses up. But the Chrono, Poyo's back onto ILTW, finding the Lycan, and it looks like they'll stab into the back lines. The Morphling side the buys, catches the Doombringer, but Poyo forces him back. Miracle, he's shoved into his own jungle. VG Gaming come out strong, catch the Miracle Morph and zap him with a Dagon. Poyo picks up that final touch on that kill, but that is a statement of intent from VG. This is their game, their map to control, and Nigma has no right to be playing down in that bottom lane.
They have one of the best heroes in the game, in the late game. You have Chronosphere, you have Faceless Void with the backtrack now, you have double Doom, triple Doom, even more Dooms if they decide to hand them that refresher that Faceless Void is still holding on to. Next Roche may respawn, it is gonna respawn in 50 seconds.
Oh yeah.
But they should poke, like they should try to poke something, see what happens.
Find a bonus kill here maybe. Kuro, they know he's in the tree line. Immediate bash from Poyo. And Ori picks up another kill for his second streak. GH and MC, they've hookshotted and vacuumed this Earth Spirit. He's going to BKB and attempt to roll, but it's cancelled out by GH. So Earth Spirit down and something going Nigma's way. But the push is coming.
Like, you did not expect aggression from offlaner and position 4, who are the only ones who are alive at the moment, and they've got to pick up.
They're still going to have to contend with this actual shove into their base, though. Look at mid lane. They've got creeps coming down to tier 3 tower. They wall up, but there's the dive coming in. The two boys going to work, pairing up beautifully, and we're going to catch out. There's dogs here inside the bubble. Old 11. Hook shot it up, but GH did to rise under his own tier 3s. Buybacks are available for Nigma.
Everyone has a buyback. It's just that if they will probably need to buy back if they want to contest a Roche, because Roche is holding on to too many stuff right now. Four free items for them.
Yeah, an absolute delight in that Roche pit. The buybacks just as you expected. Rocket Flare is going to try and scout out Vici Gaming's movements as well. And back to controlling the lanes we go. And Vici just not taking any risks here, really, are they? They know that they can keep this going, extend things out. They are scaling and accelerating a little bit faster than Nigma, who want a team fight right here, right now.
Vici has been very stable in terms of decision-making, experienced team, so they know how to win a game. Like, they love to play these type of games.
The Void Spirit illusions. Lycan's going to try and kill off one. Morphling takes down the other. And they are in this Roche pit.
He already used Manta.
Miracle. In comes Poyo. X well-timed dilation, but doesn't catch Morphling out. Miracle too quick on the fingers. Well, Ori. Oh, he's in, he's out. You trying to shake it. And Doombringer inside some
double cogs. He's trapped.
Double cogs, he can't move anywhere. The full staff out and the wall back in. There's a Doom though, finding mind controllers. Miracle's blown up by the Void Spirit.
It's a buyback.
He does have to buy back, doesn't he? I mean, Nigma, they're struggling in this one. The Doom is too strong for that.
Doom available.
That looks like it's done for as Nigma. They lose the clock and ducks here with no buybacks on them. It's basically going to be a 5 versus 3 as Vici could think about moving high ground.
It's just that this Doom, they try to go on him, trap him with the cogs. There's just not enough damage. He's way too tanky with the heart, with all the armor that he gets from the items. And now they can go inside the pit, finish it off, and go in. It's a 40k gold lead for Team Vici Gaming. 40 kills, 42k net worth lead now. Poyo grabs up that Roshan Aegis. What's he got? Refresher Shard, yeah. Finishes off his Mjolnir, and a couple of goodies for PYW and DY as well. Little party bags for them after that little Roche pit excursion. Aghanim Scepter picked up by Faceless Void, so a lot of chaos in the front lines, going in and out. You can't really focus him. He has that rewind button and also Aegis plus backtrack on top of it.
And are you worried as VG Gaming like at all going
No,
high ground here?
they should feel pretty safe right now, Gary, about closing out this game.
I'm just thinking, you know, vacuum wall, kisses, lots of magical damage, some illusions, but at this point, like you're saying, they've got so many items, it doesn't feel like that's going to be an issue.
It's a 51k gold lead.
It's monumental for VG Gaming, you know, game 1. And they've got that tier 3. Super easy move up to the high ground. Breach the ramp. And take down the barracks too. And Nigma are going to have to really think about how they want to start this fight off, because they've probably only got one fight left in them. As Vici Gaming have about 7 or 8 heroes, maybe even 9 heroes worth of spells, abilities, and lives. And there's the rewind. Gets Ployo in and out. Inkswell also used by the Grimstroke just to hold back and reset. Again, very calm, very deliberate movement from Vici Gaming.
Yeah, Octarine Core plus Spell Prism Dagon is 12-second cooldown with all that
damage?
spell amp.
800 damage?
It's 800, it's more than 1,000, 1,040 with all the spell amp that he's got.
That's nuts.
I'm doing the math, Gary, while I'm casting. I'm actually not gonna just click the alt button, but don't forget that I was doing it.
I saw you doing it. There's the catch on GH. Clockwork gone for 80 seconds, and they're just going to go and clean up the entirety of Nigma now. It looks like fountain dive time for Vici Gaming with a 2-man chrono.
Double Dagon, that's the combo.
Get them both caught up inside, but a size device. A hex from Nigma, but a turnaround coming in. RTW Miracle can't stand their ground. Ployo is too strong at this point. One hero remains for Nigma.
You know what I always say, Gary, when it's time to call it,
It's time to call it.
It really is, because they have no business whatsoever in this game.
Last man standing is that Morphling right now. And he can't defend against the 5 members of Vici Gaming, hammering away at your tier 4 towers and soon to be your throne. Game 1. I mean, it was close, it was competitive for the first, 25, 30 minutes. It looked like Nigma might just have had it. But Vici Gaming hold out, and there we have it. Game 1 in the books.
Yeah, Nigma with Lycan as a second core. It was kind of a carry, you know, but Morphling was the real carry in this game. They needed to maybe end up the game more quickly. They had the opportunity, I think maybe a different itemization. We could saw Kuro going for Vlad's just to be able to get more damage, get them that life.
In mind, obviously it's the beginning of Wildcard, but when we're looking at Nigma and Vici, these are two of the teams that we're really expecting to try to make the move out. Splitting here, going to have some ripples as we move forward in the tournament. But let's start with the predictions. We'll start with yours, Tsunami, because you kind of...
the series predictions, of course, right?
Yes, but you did turn code a little bit when you ultimately did see the draft come through.
I did.
I think you put a lot on the final Spirit pick, and then also just saying, what are they going to do in the chrono?
Obviously, it's the beginning
how did
of
it end up
Wildcard, but
playing
we're
out
looking at
in your
Nigma
mind?
and Vici. These are two
All
of the teams
5
that we're really
heroes on
expecting
Vici Gaming
to
ended up
try to
being
make the
good
move out.
heroes. Not
Splitting
necessarily
here,
to put
going
damage
to
into a
have
Chronosphere,
some
but they're all
ripples as we move
competent
forward
in their
the
own right.
tournament. But let's
Especially
start
the
with
opening that they had,
predictions.
Double Doom with the
We'll
Grimstroke.
start
It's
with
good
yours,
stuff.
Tsunami, because you kind of,
I was
series
kind of
predictions,
blinded by the
right?
fact that I wasn't
Yes,
too
but
big
you did
on
turn
this
code a
last
little
pick
bit
White Spirit to
when
put
you
damage into the
ultimately did
Chronosphere.
see
But
the
then
draft
also
come
Nigma
through.
last pick
I
Lycan.
think you put
And this is a
lot
hero
on
that has yet to
final
really
Spirit
find
pick,
its
and then also
place,
just
I
saying,
feel.
what are they going to
We're
do in
seeing
the
teams
chrono?
attempt,
Obviously, it's
Armlet Echo
how
Saber,
did it
stuff like
end up
that. ILTW ended up getting an Orchid to deal with the Void Spirit, but the hero's still not that great right now.
No, and it just felt like to win this game, Miracle, how much more heavy lifting can you ask? What was he, 8-0-0 at a point, having a near flawless performance, but it was right about here. It started to look like maybe Nigma, they've got a shot, but they just didn't get enough done, it felt like, because as you said, later on in the game, I mean, incredible vac wall, but you can see the big issue is the Doom is almost always landing on a critical target, and ultimately, almost all of Nigma's damage output is coming out of the Lycan or the Morphling. You remove one of them from the fight with any of the numerous tools at Vici's disposal, you don't really have an answer. You heard Lacoste mention the buybacks. Those were used well by Nigma, but ultimately, especially with the Doom rushing Midas, you saw endgame, he's fully slotted out. You don't win late game, and that's what we ended up seeing. It just went too late.
And Faceless Void's responsibility with the Chrono wasn't so much like, hey guys, I've got 3 people, let's kill them. It was like, hey guys, I got 3 people, you worry about who I didn't get.
Exactly.
And you go kill those guys. And ultimately, Vici Gaming, tried and true from what I saw in China, teamfight execution's always on point. This was the fight that eventually I was like, oh wow, Nigma are able to actually take a strong fight.
Yeah.
They get the initiation on Faceless Void, take him out immediately, follow up on Old 11, and then they kind of bungle their subsequent high ground siege. It's kind of unfortunate timing because Roche wasn't up, because I'm sure they would have preferred to do that instead, and they were like, well, we don't have an objective. I guess we'll just go high ground instead.
Yeah. This was where the game, this is just, what are you supposed to do here? 1 hero doomed, 3 in the Chronosphere. You're going to lose 2 straight off the bat. They immediately buy back, but those were 2 cores now forced to buy back. And so many times we saw these huge vac walls from Mind Control, but what they're missing is a follow-up stun. You can't be reliant on like Kuro's cookie timing to actually find lockdown. So it feels like, yeah, sure, you might get illusions, but none of these Vici heroes really give you too much with the illusion, even with the buffs to the wall. The damage output, not super strong. And yeah, you get kills here, but that took a dieback on your Darkseer. And later on in the game, they all in for the Void Spirit, Miracle's not there in time, and then it's just, how do you win in this case, right? You can blow a Chronosphere on a Lycan and still have a confident time winning the engagement.
Yeah, I'm not very hot on Lycan right now. I don't, he doesn't bully the lane necessarily well. He doesn't have any stuns.
Yeah.
Post-Necrobook nerf, it definitely seems like Lycan has suffered the most.
Yeah. And just look at Miracle's items. This man was playing without boots for the final 15 minutes of the game. And the items, he's trying to literally carry this game by himself. And meanwhile,
Ori's going beast mode too.
Yep.
Dagon 5 Void Spirit. Let's go. That was a very, very exciting item build to see.
No BKB.
No BKB, and when you don't have stuns on the enemy team, why do you need a BKB? That Orchid caught him by surprise, and I thought that was a clever build from ILTW to go for it, but that was it was a one-trick pony. After that, got the Lincolns online, I was like, I don't even need to worry about this Orchids.
Yeah, I think I just want to go back to the predictions, obviously, because the draft was not something that we expected. I mean, going into this one, Neil, you were really the person who was just like, hey, look, when I look at Vici, I expect consistency, and then you saw a little bit of a draft that you didn't expect,
sure,
which made you feel a little bit less optimistic about that first game. Plays out a little bit differently. What actually causes that difference, though? Does it come down to the draft, or is it actually execution that is a red flag for you going into the second game of our best of 2?
The red flag was the composition of the 5 heroes together, but they're all comfort heroes for Vici Gaming. Doom's a great offlaner. The only thing is Earth Spirit I haven't seen too much of in Vici's hands, but it's still a very, very consistent hero. And so while all 5 of them I was skeptical on the same team would be able to pull it off, each of them are superstars in their own right that they're able to carry it individually. And so Ori on the Void Spirit, Poyo-Yo on the Faceless Void, and Old 11 on the Doom. And then obviously the support duo that I was hyping up very much in the pregame. I think that they did a fantastic job. Meanwhile, while Lycan is comfort for ILTW, it's not meta right now. And you can step out of the box a little bit, but even in Pro Tracker, we're not seeing Lycan Beastman. There's nothing that we haven't found out about the hero yet.
When we see them play, all 3 cores of Nigma aren't really able to do things with one another. It's just Miracle trying to get solo pickoffs. Darkseer or Lycan, it's nice to have an Ion Shell, but your max move speed when you're Wolf form, you don't need a Surge. And there's no follow-up stun for MC's Vac. The 2 supports ultimately will fall off, and I don't know if it's as much draft. we've been talking about, like Vichi's a fantastic
For sure.
team. They're arguably top 6 at this tournament, and they're here in the wild card. So, it hurts, but ultimately there are 2 teams that's going to advance. It is a 2-game series, so if I'm Team Nigma here, maybe I save Miracle's hero for a little bit later in the draft. Morph doesn't fear Doom too much, but it's still not ideal.
Just to catch everybody up, too, in case you're just tuning in right now, just to really make sure that you understand the stakes here. This is for the wild card. This is the first series that we're watching here on the B stream. If you want to keep everything tuned, I believe they actually changed it to a squad stream, so you can jump in between everything. We're going to be watching a total of 8 series today, and those 8 series are all going to be best of 2. So we're going to jump into that second game right now. What do you want to see Nigma do differently? You said that it might not just come down to draft, but what do you want to see them do in that draft?
Well, first, just remember, Dire stream, not the B stream, Rich. We're not on the B stream. It's Dire stream.
It's Dire.
Sorry, I just looked at you. I assumed the title.
I think they had the right archetype. Ultimately, I don't think there's too much as far as like individual flaws you could point out. Like, they just got out macroed. That was the first item Midas on Doom. You're playing against the Void. I think the biggest surprise for me was just Ori on Void Spirit. Like, we haven't seen that in Europe or Eastern or Western Europe, the regions I've been covering. Nobody's been playing Void Spirit like that. Like, no BKB, all damage. And the Grimstroke ultimate, if it landed, the Doom, the double take on, like, there's no team fight. So maybe that's what you look to change, because ultimately they went back to that old style. If you remember, like, the TI-7 Liquid, playing the corners of the map, hiding in the trees, forcing skirmishes. I don't think you're going to be able to do that against Vici Gaming. They're going to team fight you. You're going to have to take a 5-on-5, and if you don't have the tools to even be combative without buybacks, that's a tough game.
Yeah, and even, like you said, the DNA is still there in Nigma, and Vici Gaming were content to let Nigma do it. They had like a 25k net worth advantage on Vici, and Nigma was the one pressuring the map, pushing all the lanes, and Vici's like, that's fine, dude.
Yeah, good luck.
Do whatever you want. We're still going to win the game in the end. We're going to wait for the next Roche. We're going to wait until we find an opening, because the pressure's on you to find something. So if you can maybe draft more stuns, I think that would be a good direction.
That's a great point. I'm a big fan of
keep
stuns.
It simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
When your Lycan has to buy an Orchid to try to kill the Void Spirit, you probably have some issues. Your Morphling has a sheep. Like, it's tough.
I'm okay with letting Miracle be a 1v9 kind of carry, though. I think that's part of the excitement of sending Miracle back to mid, is that he was always in his element in that sort of scenario. And it feels like there's a lot of Nigma just like walking around and doing nothing, but I think that's when I like Nigma the most, is when Miracle's like, I got this, guys. You just make sure that you don't botch the early game too hard, and I'll take us to the late game.
Yeah, I do want to bring up the catchphrase that Kyle's been saying already throughout the tournament, even though it's just the first series. Do you think that you saw any of that? We're still trying to piece together what the meta is going to look like a little bit. Do you think that you were right in what you were saying earlier, which is control the armor, control the game?
It wasn't as
prominent.
This was more, I think, just about 2 other catchphrases. Pick stuns. Don't not pick stuns.
Okay.
The game's a lot easier. That's the only way that you can be as good as Miracle. If you're both stunned, you both have equal control over your characters. That's a good one. And other than that, it's the need to be able to take 5-on-5 engagements. We really didn't see Nigma win a team fight without using buybacks. And sure, that can get you like an objective, but I think there was a scenario where the Void was dead without buyback. Like, that's your window.
For like 80 seconds.
Yeah, you have to win the game off that. You have to get 2 racks. You have to do some serious damage. And if you back too soon, take a little win, like, you've basically now rendered yourselves incapable of taking a win for the next 7 minutes. Because with Doom off cooldown, Chronosphere off cooldown, you will lose the fight. You need the buybacks, and you have maybe 1 or 2 times in the game where you have to spend them and get a massive edge off of it.
Now, I hate to do this to you, because like, I'm sure chat's going to remind me very quickly, NA math, lol W. But I know you've been looking at the Monte Carlos quite a bit. I know you've been looking at the other people doing math. You haven't been doing the math yourself. But when we look at this first best of 2, before we actually get into the draft right now, folks, how important is this? Like, how important are the stakes already? It's a little bit weird to start off the tournament and be like, yo, this is a pretty important series. This is one of the more important series that we're going to see over the next 2 days to figure out the 2 teams that are going to make it out of the group that we have in the wild card. But when we look at Vici, when we look at Nigma, how important is this first series? Is splitting absolutely paramount here? How important does it actually feel to you?
So in European DPC, I think week 1, Nigma beat Secret
2-0.
2-0. So Secret may be a little bit under control. That was only week 1
That was
of
8,
DPC.
yeah, that was 8 weeks ago.
It was 8 weeks ago, so don't know how much stock you can put it in, but they're competitive.
This once again is just like how different
Yeah.
everything actually feels. When you look at the league, it's like, man, like I've lost so many inches on my hairline in this time between the last time that they've actually
Only the
played.
front. I see the back is longer than ever.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Oh, look at that luxury.
That's what I've been working on in the year that I've been gone. Just desperately trying to get my hair back. But yeah, no, I think it is really obvious right now how different it really does feel to be at this major. And while looking at what do we look at as the barometer for how these teams are going to play against each other? Because for some of these teams, even in the same region, it feels like it's been a really long time.
Yeah.
And then obviously having this cross-regional play feels very unique right now.
So for Vici, I wouldn't have been surprised. My prediction was that Nigma would lose this series because Vici, my front runner to make it out of wildcards. Against IG, you may look at them and be like, oh, they're Singapore major winners. Obviously, it should be free for them. They're getting a little lazy. In the Chinese DPC, that's why they're here in the wildcards, because they weren't really on their A game. So I think that Nigma could take that one.
Yeah, and you also look at Secret, where sure, Nigma took them down 2-0 a while back, but that was a very lazy Secret. Like they had pretty much locked up their TI invite, they were chilling, but you could definitely see like the ego kick in mid-season. Secret started trying a little bit harder. This is much more of a team in form. They've been here for a week. They haven't been on vacation. They've been scrimming, so I expect them to come out and be tough. And if you lose this match, that basically makes every series from here on out for Kuroki and the guys a must-win.
Yeah.
It is a must-win. 2 teams out of 6 advance.
They're in such a must-win situation. It's like, obviously, when you look at a major like this, you very much see the arcs. You see the anime arcs, right? You start in wild card. It's like your tuning exam, right? Then after that, I forget what happens after that.
We have a time skip after that.
Yeah,
then it goes to group
time
stage.
skip group stage. Do we have 2 time skip anime right now?
Yeah.
So we're going to have like those 3 clear moments, those 3 clear beats. But in all of them, when you look at Nigma right now, they need to finish in top 2, essentially. So they got to make it all the way through wild card. They got to make it through groups, and then they got to come out basically on top to ensure their spot to try to lift the aegis.
Basically just storyline building, right? Like it wouldn't be the hero's journey if they just started crushing from the beginning. They've got to get to the equivalent of the loser bracket in the wild card, which is perhaps just being a series down.
Which TI had the freest journey for the champion? Wings looked good for like at least 3 months before TI6. And so they were expected to be favorites for TI6, I think.
Up there.
And then I think both the OGs were underdogs.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite is TI8 OG ranked 18th.
Yeah.
Wow, Wikipedia.
I did not expect to hear that name at this major, but it looks like we are going to be getting into our draft. Let's take a look. Let's see if we get more in line with what you guys expected, because I'm going to be honest, your predictions were not accurate.
I got the series prediction,
After
all
game
right?
1.
We'll wait for the game 2 to play out.
Let's see what happens.
The only thing I'm sure of, Rich, 18 teams all around the world. Nobody knows what to expect except Alliance is going to win the major. But
yes,
we're
of
going to
course.
see them, of course, in the playoffs. They won't even be on screen.
Playoffs, you're going to see them in grand finals. What do you?
True.
I mean, like, playoffs is a surefire thing. Upper bracket 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. It's already done.
2-0.
2-0.
Did I
Sorry,
I
so
feel
good
like
they won
I
3
feel like I'm
games.
missing something because I've been gone. I don't know.
No. This
I've been
is-
trying to stay in touch with you guys, but you just don't answer my emails.
You got to stick to Twitter
Not as good
DMs,
as
man.
reading
That's
them.
where the real fast-paced communication.
I actually DM'd Team Secret, and they didn't get back to me.
Oh, what a shame.
No, I was pretty mad at them. I'm going to be completely honest.
We get AA Puck. So this goes back to not physical armor, but magical armor reduction. You get the Vortex, a lot of Puck burst damage to come out. That is a Grimstroke and a very thick Tiny.
Yeah, that dude's been hitting the gym. That's
Yeah.
a level 18 Tiny right there.
It's like a lizard cosplay. Right?
So they don't go for the straight-up Soulbind combination. Doom was still available. They don't see the necessity to push it in first phase. And I'm surprised with the AA first pick, because Morphling's banned out, so you didn't really need to worry about that.
And look at this as well. Nigma, they rotate a bit to a half and half with, I believe that's mind control behind Kuro.
The draft structure right now?
ILTW has switched chairs.
Interesting.
That was MC's chair before game one, so perhaps a little bit of role swapping going on?
I will say that I prefer ILTW on team fighters, and they put him on a Lycan, and so maybe he was getting involved, and he's like, yo, it's cool, man. Like, I'll win the lane, I'll push. And then he's like, okay, ILTW, you sit back, we're going to give you Juggernaut. It's fine.
I mean, I just like, this will likely be the miracle puck, and I think that this is, I mean, who knows how many more times we'll see it. We got to see the next 2 days play out, but this is, well, we really haven't seen Miracle play for years. He has not really been on playmakers very often throughout these DPC seasons, throughout the last couple of years. He's almost always playing that hard farmer priority, and even I kind of like this.
This hero specifically, I remember T-Gov went on quite a rant on how China does not care about puck.
Not at all.
And I can confirm that after even, because that was like a week 2 speech that he made.
Yeah.
Week 3 through 6, it remained consistent. Puck is not particularly popular these days. They ban out Templar Assassin, which we think is on the come up, so don't need to worry about that. But I see Leshrak be picked a lot. I see DK be picked a lot against Puck. Sure, Miracle on a playmaker. I'm hyped to see it. It's not necessarily what we've been known to his signatures, but hopefully they have a better plan for ILTW, because I think his hero in game 1, that Lycan, just was not able to carry as much as it should have from
we were not liking the Lycan. One thing though, consistently we heard in preparation for the tournament from any of the teams that we got a little bit of information from beforehand was TA going to be very important. We're going to see teams have answers to TA. Does not seem like those answers are ready. It seems like just consistently banning TA, something that we're going to see in this best of 2. Rasta. Kyle, how do you feel about the Rasta here?
It's excellent. You always want to have a hex mechanic against Puck. Lion, Rasta, both ideal, because you also have that secondary disable.
Both ideal, so why the Rasta instead of the Lion?
Um,
Because I've been seeing Lion be far more popular, not just in
True.
China, but in all regions.
maybe just for a bit of the tower pressure.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you always go for, but like...
Stronger laner to an extent. With Tiny as well, you can do some cool mechanics where you just drop wards, Tiny hits tower, and you've got a very strong fortification that can be placed offensively. Less, I guess maybe you're just less fearful of the enemy 5 position as well. You already see the AA.
Yeah, so lane, don't know where this Tiny is going to go.
Oh, 2 direct disables, although Shackle with Grimstroke.
Shackle has a cast animation, but
But
you
it
do
doesn't work.
you do get double wrist shackles with Soulbind.
There you go. Because obviously Lion's stun.
Yeah, it'll have a
quite
travel
the
time
same.
for the projectile. For the other spike to travel, so that's true. Better synergy. But you miss out on double finger, which would have been pretty good.
What do you miss out on?
Double fingers? Write that down. It's not in this game.
Oh, let him see it.
So you said no double. All right, so we're gonna.
We've moved on. Look at the draft.
Yeah, I already saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't even need to look. I was just like, I'm not gonna have that oversight here. Dark Willow gonna be locked in. Obviously, something that we've seen in the meta a whole bunch. But what are you expecting here on the side of Vici? It was actually Neil. You were the one who said a little bit earlier that you were putting a lot of pressure on the support duo in the drafts. But what else are you looking for here?
I need to know where this Tiny is going. I think Tiny does well against Puck mid, so I'm hoping that it's going to be an Ori mid Tiny. Po-Yo-Yo can go for the Faceless Void again. Oh no, never mind, it's banned out.
I love the synergy though. Like we saw this again. It's in EU. Like EU Western was all about Puck. It was consistently first 2 banned, first 2 picked. And this was a combo that we saw come out later in the season where you get the huge AoE fear from Willow after coil's been placed. Pretty easy to hit there, stuck in the coil. And a lot of the damage, almost all the disable, like that's from the snap of the coil. If you can force that, that's huge to win a team fight, especially when you consider how squishy that support duo is for Vici.
Yeah. I would be down for a Jug from Po-Yo-Yo. They pick Centaur into Puck.
Okay, so a natural pipe buyer and a very tanky frontliner, but relatively susceptible to the magic burst that Nigma already show.
Yeah.
Although He will probably just buy a hood.
Sure, especially since Vanguard got nerfed in the D patch.
True.
Because it used to be like, no matter what, even if there was magic damage, it's like, I'm getting that 6-minute Vanguard, no matter what. Here, I guess, yeah, Hooded's a higher priority, but I still don't really like Stampede against Coil. It was a pretty common response in 7.29C in China,
Wow.
and now this Dark Willow is looking like she has tons of combos.
I was going to say, we said we needed more team fight.
Yeah.
They said, okay, you want a team fight.
Bro, this Stampede is not getting you anywhere. You're stuck.
Game
Coil,
2 is
Arena.
looking completely different than what we actually did see in Game 1. But once again, Tsunami, we're in a situation where I'm curious, how are you feeling about Vichi's draft here?
I'm not as skeptical about it. Yet again, the question mark that I had last game was the Earth Spirit. Here, it's the Shaman in terms of heroes that I don't see particularly frequently, but I have confidence in Vichi's teamfight execution. Nigma had minimal teamfight execution in Game 1, and so I'm much happier with their comp, even though I preferred it in Game 1 also, because ease of execution, term, it's commonly thrown around.
Yep.
This is a very easy teamfight to execute.
It's the Bulba coefficient. How many team fights are necessary for a team to win the game?
Okay.
And if you're in a scenario where you just need one and that's it, and the other team needs 6 or 7, then typically the team that only needs the one engagement is going to be favored. In this case, I don't think both drafts look solid, right?
We still
Both
need to
these
see the
teams had
carry
a lot of
heroes.
time to
We need to
prepare.
see the scaling potential. So Poyo-Yo generally prefers later game carries. ILTW generally prefers mid game carries. I still think Jug is good for both teams, honestly. Vici Gaming, Jug being able to spin out a Coil and Arena would be nice. Lifestealer's banned out by Vici Gaming. Meanwhile, Nigma are banning out Terrorblade and Phantom Lancer, so Illusion heroes. Just surprising, because I feel like they have pretty good Illusion clear on Nigma. Unless there's a carry that they want to go for, like Ursa, who doesn't deal well with Illusions.
You know what we could see out of Nigma? This is a pretty nasty Drow game.
Yeah.
I've seen that hero picked up a little bit more.
Drow, you said?
Yeah, with PL out of the pool. Gives you the tower pressure the draft is missing right now.
Only because I'm seeing Tinies not get Dagger as early as they used to. Because otherwise, if it does be a mid-Tiny on Ori with a Dagger Rush, then I do think Drow could get a little bit pressured with Stampede as well. But I think that a ranged core would look really nice for Nigma.
Yeah. Something that rains in damage. You want to be able to pretty much just explode anybody caught in either an Arena or a Coil. And the way that Vici have their lineup set right now, it's about absorbing damage, not avoiding it. So you want to have something that really threatens the Tiny or the Centaur if they're the ones you're forced to target, because that's likely how they're going to play it out.
Okay, so they do go for the Ursa because that's why they banned out all the Illusion carries.
That's an Ursa.
That's an Ursa. And it's probably going to be an Ursa Diffusal because that's the only play that you play Ursa these
Oof.
days. And Poyo-Yo
Nasty.
Spectre.
All right, now that we have all of the cards in front of us, how are you feeling this time around, Tsunami?
It's way more even, at least on paper, for me. I don't think that... Okay, so if we go with team fight coefficient, now that Vici have a late game carry, that coefficient gets higher.
Yeah.
You need to win more team fights because they cannot push particularly quickly on Nigma. No one hits towers.
Nobody. That's the big concern I've got right now, because once again, Vici, they're buying insurance. They're saying, look, we get this to 30, 40 minutes, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Spectre has a dream game right now. AA, Willow, Puck, like these heroes hate to just be all of a sudden ulted on, shadow stepped on later on in the game with the shard. Like, you're in big trouble if this game goes late enough. And to Tsunami's point, like, the big fear is that, once again, Nigma do not have any natural methods of pushing towers. Meanwhile, Vici, yeah, they have more of a late game lineup, but they're just going to run a strength hero down a lane and drop wards and dare you to defend a tower.
All right, what's the key thing to look out for, Tsunami, as we jump into this second game of our best of 2?
If Nigma win, it's going to be really fun to watch because it's going to be a lot of flashy team fights. And if they lose, it's going to be very boring because Vici are just going to avoid every single fight. Spectre's going to get huge, and she's going to carry the entire game.
All right, so if Nigma wins, it's going to be very much like... actually, you know what? I'm not going to make the analogy. I was going to make actually the worst anime analogy ever, and
Please
thankfully the game's ready, so I don't have to do that right now. I'm going to throw it over to the casters, and we're going to get into this best of 2 second game right now. Right now.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah, here we are, second game, Lacoste, and the panel was saying about that teamfight coefficient that we're really looking for Nigma to take and win as many teamfights as they can, while Vici has that late game insurance and the Spectre. I mean, what are your thoughts on that draft?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I don't think they have enough to close out the game in 30 minutes. Last game they had Lycan, also didn't succeed to close it out early enough, and this time around, I think it's gonna be even worse. Ori, at the start of the second season, he was a bit slow. You know, he was not Ori. He was 70% Ori, 30%, I don't know what it was, water. But at the end of the season, it's the good old Ori. You know, because you have high expectations of this player, what he can do, and we can see in the previous game, he ended up with, what, 21, 22, and 1 score in the end. And in this particular game, also, he is the king. Because you're playing into Dark Willow, Puck, and Ancient Apparition. These heroes are just food for you. Like one combo, you delete one of these heroes, keep repeating it, hashtag repeat, and keep going in and out. Also, it's a good matchup for Tiny on the mid lane with the addition of the water runes, so he can be pushing out the wave, use Avalanche, 3 grab, 3 toss, and then just outpush the wave. Nigma, on the other side, they have a good combo, and they have great ways to deal with the Centaur, especially Stampede, with the Coil, with the Arena, so they're not going to get too much value out of it, and they have a great combo. Like, either it's Terrorize into Mars Arena or Terrorize into Coil to break it, get that long duration stun. Centaur is strong hero, one of the strongest offlaners right now for sure, but it just doesn't feel as strong when you're playing into Ancient Apparition.
Ooh.
GH.
Yeah, with DY already having a bit of a scrap in that jungle. And Dark Willow always going to come out the victor in that battle, especially with Mind Control's assistance. First blood, very early spillage there, as Vici Gaming lose out their support in the safe lane. It does give a little bit of freedom for Poyo, though, to secure the range creep. Of course, important for that safe lane carry to do so. I'm just coming back to your speech about combos and things like that. Like you said, it's going to be difficult for the Centaur to use Stampede. But they've also got that toss from Tiny as a defensive mechanism as well. It's not just that offensive capability, isn't it?
Yeah, potentially you could save people out of the arena with toss. Like, if they're standing on the edge, you can toss them out of it. Other heroes, they don't get out. Like, so it's a good start for Nigma, because Mind Control got that first blood. And what is he bringing? Just a casual bracer.
Okay.
Love me some bracers. Damage. HP regen. Remember when strength gave you
status resistance? Yeah. I try not to remember that, but unfortunately I do. That was still when I played a lot of Invoker, and my god, it was a pain in the ass trying to get combos out when everyone's got different values of status resistance, dropping from my tornadoes every couple of seconds. But yeah, like you say, it's a great start for Nigma, because that's what they need to get the ball rolling as early as they can and connect into these early to mid-game team fights. It looks like we do have just a little bit of a quick pause coming through. Now, thinking about Game 1 and the similarities here in Game 2, Vici Gaming, it seemed like they love to take it to late game. They want to be able to drag things out and get past the stage where Miracle can just outplay and outmaneuver them and get to a point where we say, hey, we've got 3 or 4 heroes that are all stronger than you. Try and beat us now.
I'm looking at the item build that he has queued up on Ursa.
Oh, yeah?
Just phase boots, and he's going into Hood, which is okay. There's a ton of magical damage that they got. I'm wondering what's his next item was going to be. I don't think Battle Fury is viable anymore. Diffusal Blade is the thing. Okay. That's something that China has kind of pioneered back when Battle Fury got nerfed.
Is that just allowing you to play faster?
Yeah, you come online so much faster. You threaten the first Roche, second Roche, get stuff done on the map. It's more damage compared to Battle Fury, where you just want to farm. You get the Battle Fury, you're not fight ready.
I think that's something the panel brought up as well, was the fact that we like to see Nigma when they are playing very, very speedily. And we'll see if R2W can pick up the pace with that Ursa build that you've been talking about. Currently facing off against the old 11 Centaur and PYW Shadow Shaman. This is the base damage lane. They've got like 155 base damage between the two of them. Pretty ridiculous stuff.
Pretty balanced, exactly.
Denying and last hitting, all that good stuff.
PYW Shaman was a thing. Like, during the first season, the best Shadow Shaman player, without a doubt. He's done some amazing stuff. There's a couple of other good players. Jin Q also played it quite a lot, but PYW Shaman is something to always be feared, because he knows. The thing about this game is both supports on both sides are not going to have a good time. If, let's say, Puck gets a first jump, if you get inside the arena, you're straight up dead. Same goes for Tiny going in on one of the supports, blowing them up. I feel in this game, we will need to see a lot of earlier buybacks from position 4s and 5s. This is how you win a team fight.
I think Carl was mentioning the ability for VG Gaming to send a strength core down a lane and have Shadow Shaman threatening with wards. They've got some great ways to bait out fights to start off, like Shadow Shaman or Centaur shows, then Tiny blinks in, Spectre haunts, they can turn things around. So I think Nigma have to be very much on their toes and maybe even see some of these early maneuverability items, whether it's the Blink Daggers or even the Yule Scepters, to be able to counteract VG Gaming's game plan in that regard. And the mid lane probably just going to be a farm trade for the most part, would you say? Tiny against the Puck?
Puck doing much better than I expected, but there's a full wave coming to Tiny. That's why, because it's a pretty even matchup, I would say, where it can go both ways. If there's like a rotation, if Tiny gets his runes stolen, then he's going to struggle a bit. But he can also threaten a kill on Puck with his combo.
And so far down bottom, and DY's first death, definitely leaving a sour taste in his mouth, but so far hasn't really fed away too much more. This threatening lane from Nigma, actually going to get onto the Spectre now with a chain stuns, but pops the wand and a little fairy fire to keep the Spectre alive.
Interesting build from GH. I've seen different builds. I've seen him going for max Shadow Realm.
Old 11. Cold Feet snaps on him. He turns. Oh, the double edge. Trades his life out, but killing that Ursa off. Beautifully done.
This is a killer lane for VG Gaming. No points in a retaliate. I think he needs to get it like right now. But 1-2-0 build is kind of a thing when you are paired up with someone who can just disable them, like Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
But to go back to the Shadow Realm talk, I've seen GH maxing the spell. This time around, he went for 1 point in Bramble, 1 point in Cursed Crown. I'm a big fan of Bramble Maze, where Bramble gets them maxed out, especially here, where I don't think you get too much value from the Shadow Realm. We'll see what he decides to go for, but just more control and more damage, like laceration as well, is a great setup for Mars.
Yeah, exactly, especially with that Mars, spearing people through brambles, getting the Curse Crown stuns, set up beautifully in that bot lane for themselves. As it looks like Ori, like you were saying, pretty even matchup in the mid lane against the Puck. We'll wait for that kind of 6-7 minute moment where they decide to rotate and come into the side lanes. That's still a good 3 minutes away, so it does have to be the...
Oh, Miracle dropping low. Pops the water rune on mid.
And he's turning back onto the Tiny. Ooh, orbing forward.
He's fine. Has a bottle. Magic Stick, also a Fairy Fire to work with, but needs to be careful now when Puck spells come off cooldown. There are no bounty runes to be picked up.
Yeah, so
you would wish someone dies in this situation. Like one of your side lane supports, they die, come back to mid lane, refill the bottle. I'm not even kidding.
No, you're
Gary.
reading my mind. That's something I've been saying for ages. Yeah, just wait for DY to die, come and refill the bottle. And thank the position 5. Spam out some salves and bottle refills. Oh, they do get a catch on Tiny. There's the coil with a GH rotation, picking off Ori. And that's Miracle hitting level 6 as PYW thinking about the go on Kuro. That can't keep the chain stuns going. And of course, Old 11 wanting to play the lane and not get dragged away by the pesky support.
I gotta say, Old 11 has been more stable. One of my favorite players in terms of like doing fancy stuff, throwing the game, overextending. I like these type of players, but he's been more stable lately, just doing the stuff, textbook examples.
Yeah, for quite a while, in my mind anyway, he was somewhat of a budget ice, where, like you say, he had these real crazy plays. He was able to get in the face of his opponents and cause havoc.
I always say about 11, either he is the best player in the team or like looks like the worst one, and no in between.
But yeah, he's become much more stable, you say, as of late. As we gather up in towards the rune spawn time, GH takes the haste, and stunning DY caught up in the Bramble Maze with a combo. Tiny's in, the toss. It does catch Miracle, but he's jumped forward to his orb. Now caught out as the Ether shot zaps him down, and DY taken out by the Shadow Realm, but they've got Tiny and Shadow Shaman both here on the GH Dark Willow, but Maraska gonna haste and run away. I'll hold 11, very close to death.
Oh, doesn't catch. Oh, that was close. Shaman was TPing top to buy mana boots.
Combo again. GH as he got Shadow Realm, and he looks like he's safe and sound regardless with the wand and the raindrops.
A raindrop.
Shadow.
Plus a fluffy hat is the thing to buy on support this game.
The
you
counter.
Not exactly, the tiny counter.
Oh, mind control. He's been left alone for a decent amount of time, but he's top of the net worth, given a good early laning stage by the Willow. 3,100 net worth for him, so What we're seeing, is it going to be the Blink? Is it going to be the Yules? Or does it go Hood first? What's the plan for MC?
For MC, I wouldn't mind seeing a Hood or Blink into Hood decide, because decides what we'll see what Puck decides to go for, because right now he has a Witchblade, which I'm fine with that, just to be able to one-shot the supports.
Oh, it's a smoke. Oh, he spots them. Avalanche to stop any attempt to jump up to his high ground. So he dodges the gank. And it looks like Nigma also wanted to try and scout out some stacks in that Radiant Triangle area too, and maybe get some vision down.
Poyoyo is level 6 Inspector, but does not have mana to work with. He's bringing some regen, has power treads. Let's see if DY has one mango to work with, so he could potentially use it on him and then make a play.
Yeah.
Global presence is very strong for Vici Gaming. With the Spectre, Tiny blinking in, you follow up with the Stampede, possibly, so very maneuverable.
Yeah, they're everywhere on the map and nowhere at once. Tiny finding the Dark Willow. Shadow Realm not going to save her from the onslaught that is PYW. Shadow Shaman, oh, hang on a second. They've slipped the Dark Willow away. The Stampede, but into the coil. Now PYW's the one stuck. Shackles up the Miracle Puck. Nigma have backup with GH and Kuro both still lurking around. And PYW the one that gets found and killed while GH survives.
GH is level 6, 8 minutes in. That raindrop already expended every single raindrop charge. I would not be surprised if he decides to buy another one.
Spam the raindrops, keep him going. And he's pairing up with that Kuro Ancient Apparition. Looking up towards the top lane, safeguard ILTW's farm. He's got phase boots and that Ring of Health heading into the Hood.
Plus a chipped west on top of it, so
Oh, yeah.
a lot of regen sitting at the tower, 11 per second.
And old 11, he's going to slip away. Hides in the trees, went for Vanguard himself. Probably going to go for that Vanguard Hood into the Blink Dagger.
Pretty standard stuff
Yeah.
from the Centaurs these days. Just want to be able to tank up, not necessarily get an early blink there, because your mid
Hello.
laner, oh, there's the
There's the
combo.
Tiny. Combos up the Ancient Apparition, kills the Courier with his nice little tree toss back towards it.
Again, they have multiple heroes that benefit from Inkswell. You have Tiny, one of the best ones. He goes in, especially with the Blink Dagger, and I'm a big fan of Tiny's not upgrading the boots instead of just rushing the Blink Dagger. Miracle.
He'll orb away. He saw that one coming.
Ooh, that was not quick enough from PYW.
And GH still going to get caught here, but he gets the Bedlam out and the Shadow Realm damage. PYW, he's going to get
Miracle
caught
gonna
by the
clean up.
Miracle backstab. The coil hits 2 mana. Double kill for Miracle while Ori gets away from the Cold Feet and the Vortex. GH trades himself, but this time 2 kills gathered up by Miracle and a stack being claimed thanks to that Magic Amp and the level 4 Orb Waning Rift.
They needed shackles straight away. PYW not executing perfectly, hexing, but not using the shackles straight away, which gives enough time for Dark Willow to use the Shadow Realm. Still, no haunt, not even a point in it, just maxing out the dispersion, going into Blade Mail. Pretty standard stuff, Power Treads into Blade Mail, Manta style, most likely Scotty, just tank up, maybe even like Manta Diffusal Blade. I'm a big fan of Diffusal Blade in this patch particularly, because it just feels really good. Battlefield got nerfed, so you gotta get something other than that. Getting closer to Blink Dagger.
Hello.
Tiny, can he blow him up?
I tried.
Arena available.
Terrorize with the spear. That Inkswell's not going to do very much. And GH, the slippery devil he is, yet again, out of the grasps of Vici Gaming. And what was that? 4 heroes brought down to the Spectre lane as they stampede top. That's to get old 11 away from ILTW.
Gary, it was to get faster from the bottom lane to the mid lane with that stampede efficiency. He also runs away.
The macro play.
Yeah, bottom lane. Ulti flying. Where's the follow-up?
They're
Smoke
looking for
looks
it.
pretty dead.
Poyo, beautiful setup. Good call across. There it is. Slay the Spectre. Unexpected. As Vici Gaming, like you said, had moved from bot back to mid, and Nigma, they find their opening.
There were no wards. They have 1 ward behind the tower. Shadow Shaman ulti dropped on a mid lane plus a catapult. No AA ulti. They know it for another 15-ish seconds. Tanking the tower. Tiny, 12 armor, and has a Blink Dagger now.
Oh, he does. ILTW and Miracle try and defend that mid lane against the Serpent wards. Killed off the catapult. The wards are all gone. And mid tier 1 looking a little worse for wear, though. Around 300 HP.
Let's see Ori if he decides to use Shovel once. Like near the shop, you can swap it, but he is bringing it to old 11, it seems, or gonna give it to DY. DY, you're a kobold right now. Start digging.
Is it going to be a kobold? No, it's a salve. Give that to Old 11 straight away so they can stay around. Ursa shows on that top lane. Vici.
Interesting build from Centaur. He built a Vanguard, then disassembled it, used that ring to get Hood of Defiance, and now gets Vanguard once again.
Cool.
What if you keep disassembling it?
Disassembling the Vanguard
And
over
then you
and over again.
disassemble Vanguard, you get a Lotus Orb.
Or an Aeon Disc. There's a few things you could do with that.
I think it's a bit of an underused mechanic, being able to disassemble certain items, especially for Bristleback, where you can, like, he builds into many items, but the Hood Vanguard, disassemble Vanguard later on, you get a Bloodstone possibly. There's so many things you can do with it.
Yeah, limitless options almost there. That's a good point. Oh, hello. Miracle has his Witchblade. GH, Kuroki, both level 7. And they would love to get some action around this Dream Coil. Yet again, going back to what the panel was saying about needing to win team fights, they'll have to defend up.
He doesn't die. He's too tanky. That Hood of Defiance, maybe they got surprised. You know, didn't click on a hero. I see certain players doing it.
But that's very Shrinker, though. They're going to have another Tombow pretty soon.
Yeah, that's the big item you get on Tiny. That extra bit of a burst sometimes that you need.
They see GH. Inkswell. In comes the combo. Blows up the Dark Willow. And another objective secured by Vici Gaming. That's the systematic maneuver that we've been expecting from them. Tower to tower.
Every single time there's Shadow Shaman wards up, they rotate to one of the lanes.
And they stampede forward. They know RTW's nearby. They're going to catch him without his enrage. He's tossed back into DY. RTW going to turn and try and fight in the arena with a spear and the Ice Blast coming in. They're going to take down Ori here with a nice blast and slay him. Miracle with a coil catching the Centaur too. The Hex though, PYW and Poyo get into the back lines with the Ancient Apparition. The Soulbind's also going to connect onto the Puck and the Mars. But PYW's down and Poyo left here without any backup. Nigma surround the Spectre. Now there's no retreat. RTW, he was the one that was initiated on, gets a double kill. Or DY, he's fine. TP's home successfully.
This build on Ursa allows them to take these earlier fights, because without the Hood, he wouldn't be tanky enough. And Miracle, he is once again having a blast. Both of the mid laners pretty much, but this time around, Miracle having a better time. I don't think you get this kill. Dark Willow, does she have ulti? She does, but still respecting the damage that he can tank, plus also the TP rotation.
Yeah.
Tiny's in.
Oh, look at that. Straight onto Kuro, but you said it, the counter's there. He's got fluffy hat, the fluffy hat for AA. As PYW down in the river, isolated, taken out quickly by Nigma, who moved forward aggressively. Great spear back. Mind control, finds the pick, and they'll ice blast him into oblivion. A double for Miracle, and they want Old 11 now as well, apparently. Tanky Centaur be damned. I mean, DY's being dived by the puck. Old 11 in the cold, feet snap, and DY down. A triple for Miracle, and GH picks up the 4.
Yeah, they're like something that I mentioned, you know, but fluffy. I've seen Mind Control getting multiple fluffy hats. I didn't mean that for this particular game. If you get more than 2, that's actually griefing. But 2 is fine. Ancient Apparition, we see him sitting at 1300 HP. We have Dark Willow also having just 1 casual fluffy hat, which allows you to not die after Tiny using a combo on you, and very quick rotation from Nigma. They understand, like, there's no Spectre Haunt, there's no Stampede. Let's try to make stuff happen. They kill the tower with the catapult wave on top of it. Pretty much the stars aligning for them.
Oh, absolutely. And now they've got this Miracle Puck with Blink Dagger.
It's big. Like, it's Puck with a Blink Dagger, it's Ursa with a Hood and a Diffusal Blade in
Let's go
200
time.
gold. It's time to keep
Just
fighting.
keep on running at them. PYW out on his lonesome in the middle of the trees there, and a good spear onto the Tiny. The combos just keep flowing for Nigma. One after the other, they get pick-off after pick-off, and Vici Gaming starting to crumble. DY in the Ice Vortex slowed down. Miracle gets the coil solo onto Grim. Take him out.
A lot of drawing on a minimap, like they are here. We know, we can see it. Apparently, Vici Gaming, they don't have any vision. Nigma, they set up a high ground ward. Like, this ward will most likely get devorted, but they got the most out of it. Even if it's placed like straight away, you get a kill or 2. They can also protect that ward easily, and Centaur getting closer to the Blink Dagger, so he could potentially be the one initiating on top of the Tiny. Tiny now upgrading the boots, the power treads, going into Echo Saber. They need that a little bit of extra burst, like that second hit is sometimes all you need to finish off a certain hero.
Absolutely do. Absolutely do. He's going to try and farm that up at the top, taking out some neutral creeps. Well, I mean, PYW, he just can't really show on the map. We were talking about the threat
Oh no!
of
Mind Control suggesting another fluffy hat for Kuro. He's
How
holding
many
on
has he
to
got?
3 right now.
He's got 3 fluffy hats. Oh, he's the Ushanka King right there as they get the catch on to Centaur. He's popped his hood, Vanguard up. Oh, he's just destroyed by all the magic damage.
You're not tanky. Like, they have probably the best setups in the game for AA to hit the blast.
Yeah.
You have Mars, you have like even Dark Willow stun.
And they're not really long
plus the
cooldowns,
pop-
are they?
Yeah, they don't really rely on any of the cooldowns, so they can keep fighting all the time, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And soon you're going to have this BKB on MC. He's got Blink Dagger already, so whenever he sees a target, he can jump an arena. While Ori,
Mana
a mana
gone.
burn. Yeah, this Ursa is going wild on him. The Tiny's not going to last long. He's going to try and blink away. He's pretty speedy, pops his one. But in comes that Blink arena we were just mentioning. Mind Control closes the door on the Tiny.
Very clean game from Nigma.
And
Just going in, keep fighting, not losing any of the heroes.
And that Ursa allows them to take Roshan whenever they want to, doesn't he? So if they win a big team fight, it's just straight into Rosh no matter what.
Right now, Nigma is just controlling the big portion of the map, not allowing Vici Gaming. Like, Vici Gaming has vision inside the enemy jungle, which
Hello.
they don't benefit from at the moment.
There's the spear.
Snap the coil.
Snaps it up, and Puck on Blade Mail causing a few issues as Poyo turns the damage back onto them. Haunts around, tries to run, gets himself a little bit of distance as Nigma. They do disengage. Scatter back to a bit of safety, but that's Haunt expended defensively, something Vici Gaming would have been relying on to win a team fight in the next couple of minutes.
Vici Gaming needs to tone it down a bit to try not to take these fights, get some vision up in their own jungle, D-ward, and play for a bit later stages of the game.
Delay.
Nigma knows that, because like they know that they can fight inside the Roche pit, as you mentioned, and I don't think there's going to be any response.
It doesn't look like it. Well, I think you're right. Vici Gaming, name of the game right now is delay, delay, delay.
Buy time. Go to Shopkeeper. I know you have all these shiny items. Bro, do you have time? We need to buy some time.
Do you have a loan, any kind of credit system? Can I borrow a rapier? No. I'm going to save up for it little by little. And that's now Aegis in the hands of RTW. And they've got some towers up top that should be pretty easy to claim for Nigma. And they are, pinging out to cut the wave in between Tier 1 and Tier 2 there. While also holding on to mid lane, so spreading out across that top third of the map and forcing Vici Gaming to be farming a little less efficiently elsewhere down towards bottom altogether. Interesting positioning from Tiny right now, though. It looks like he's scouting out.
Creep skipping.
Or is he just creep skipping?
That's it. Blast it and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, cut that wave. TP's coming back from Miracle, though. Oh, he's hungry for this. Mind Control's also arriving. There's the arena. Coil catches the Tiny out, and DY, he can't TP out. The Soulbind's there, but what are you going to do as a Grimstroke? You're just dead to rights. MC comes out with a double. Beautiful setup yet again.
They were so ready for it. Like, exact moment when he shows up, and you can see that they know. Like, the decision-making, who's going to TP to Tier 2 tower, who's going to TP to Tier 3 tower. It's just really on point. Nigma, this game, 7k gold lead, 22 kills.
To the 6 of Vici Gaming. Oh yeah, there's the lead. It's starting to spiral out of control. Much more of a solid position than they had in Game 1, where, of course, they were leading in Game 1 around this time as well. But it feels like if they continue fighting, battling, and reacting as quickly as they have been, Vici Gaming going to have some serious problems.
And I like this. I like what Miracle is doing after finishing off the Witchblade. Has Deso, so he wants to be able to scale. And also going into BKB. He understands they got nothing. There's literally not a single spell that goes through magic immunity, so they're good to go. One of the reasons why Mars is also going for it. Ursa, after finishing the hood, has Shard queued up, which is...
got his Basher as well.
Yeah, Basher on top of it. Just a casual one, because he's super farmed at the moment. So items are just piling up.
The smoke's broken by Miracle mid. And Mind Control's going to be lurking around near the Roche pit too. I was going to say, if there's one thing Vici have shown they're very good at, it's choosing the right moments to strike around the Haunt with a smoke. That was a 4-man move, but Nigma just a step ahead in that situation until they lose the courier there. Vitality booster of Kuroki drops.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Immediate response. Ice Blast chucked down to that bottom corner. Right-hand side of the map. Everyone from Nigma smoking down here, and I think they might have spotted PYW. They're going to TP out, though, as Vici Gaming.
Better TP out. And also, he found the perfect item.
Oh, rolled 11.
All good, reliable. Fillet Stone, 11. Seems pretty dead, no one to help him around.
Yeah. Left down there all alone. And RTW continues his streak. As this map just... the fact that Nigma come bottom, they get a kill, they push one wave, and look at how quickly they move, TPing to top outpost, getting into the Radiant Triangle, because that's where they know Vici Gaming has to be. There's nowhere else they can farm. So they're keeping the pressure laid on very thick.
Kuro, his item build. Like, if you've seen this in pubs, you'll probably think I'm reporting this Overwatch case. And
screw you, Tiny build.
But this is exactly what it is, you know, just does not want to die to Tiny, and I believe he's also going for Eon Disc, which I really like. So he's going to be able to get his spells off, most likely going to get procced by Spectre in a team fight. Maybe Spectre doesn't have enough damage to actually go below threshold.
They find mind control, they toss the Horn Illusion, great terrorize. Shackle's not cancelled out though, and the Soulbind comes in with a big blink stomp. Mind control's taken down, and it looks like Nigma still wanting to turn and fight around Poyo.
No mana
there, but he just walks straight through them.
No life.
Miracle beyond godlike, and they want PYW as a cherry on top of this team fight. You kill the Mars, we'll kill the rest of you. Who's the third one? He's out there. Grimstroke barely TPing home, but Tiny might not have the same luxury. He's being coiled, snapped, and frozen in the cold feet. Down you go, a triple for Miracle.
Miracle is just completely popping off in this game, as he was in the previous series. Now, like, that was a fight that blocked Arcane Rune, has phase shift attack, has the damage down on top of this, so just not enough. Like, they need to execute the combo, they need multiple hexes, multiple shackles in a team fight, but it's hard. As we said at the start of the game, supports are gonna struggle. Because Puck, he gets the first jump, you can't fight. Like, you get silenced, pretty much you're dead. Delay, drop for Nigma as well.
Yeah, give that to Kuro, shall we? He buys himself a smoke as well. Definitely a sign of life, though, from Vici Gaming. Even though it wasn't a great team fight, they lost out a lot. Still the ability to make moves on their terms, which is something that some teams can struggle with when they are so far behind. I mean, a 10k lead now for Nigma with all those items you mentioned coming into them. And that next Roshan just under 3 minutes away from fast spawn. But a BKB from the Mars, and RTW's aggressive jump to high ground.
Head shard.
DY nearly just dies in a terrorize onto two of them. GH is going to come in with the help of the coil to fear them up. The Tiny dead, and the Centaur looking pretty screwed as well. Unstoppable Ursa back onto the Spectre with a Bedlam. What's the control looking like though from Nigma? It's a spear, and the clear up from GH. 4 heroes obliterated.
If Ursa gets any other item than what he's got, if he doesn't have Hood of Defiance, he straight up dies there. Potentially different fight, but very nice itemization from YLTW. I don't think I've been pleasantly surprised by someone just knowing how, like, good itemization can win you the game, as in this one.
Surprised by someone buying a Hood.
No, as a carry, like, this is, I don't think, like, if you scroll through data, I don't think you would be able to see Hood Ursa as the first item pretty much ever.
I think you're right. So we used to see it a little bit on, like, Phantom Lancer, right? You know, PL,
sure,
PL Hood makes sense, but Ursa, yeah, not really something that we come across too often. Hello, 2-man stomp, and then the Stampede to run away because they got the arena down. Ori's blinked in aggressively looking for Miracle. The Puck's going to manage to win. Ripped off to the side, but not far enough.
They got him.
GH comes in with a Bedlam, though. Needs to turn it back on the Tiny, finish him up with mind control. PYW want RTW, and Vici Gaming hold their high ground to get 2 massive core kills. Mind control might even be the third one they grab. He's stuck down here, and old 11 tracking back on the Mars. It's a good ice blast coming in, but I think MC is not going to manage to get up the staircase. Turned on and zapped by PYW, while Kuro
Can he hide?
TPing, no. Stomp cancels it. Ancient Apparition done for.
Nigma, they got what they came for. They killed the melee barracks, the range barracks at 20 HP, so they can be taken down easily. Still, you know, they have a better late game. If this goes post the 35-40 minute mark, you know, considering the amount of the farm and the advantage that they got, might not be too good for Vici Gaming, but Spectre's getting farmed. Like, Spectre got that Manta style, so potentially next Roche, which could spawn in 35 seconds, can be taken. Spectre deals a ton of damage. With Manta style Shadow Shaman wards, maybe that's the sneaky play that they need. I was talking about the itemization. He wanted to get like Bash or Butterfly. I'm more of a Diffusal Blade fan, as already stated, where mana burn on not just the support, it also gives you that extra slow potential. The damage output that you get from it is insanely high. So I like the Diffusal hero quite a lot.
Yeah, against melee heroes, you know, Mars and Ursa, something that mana burn can really stack up and work against them quite quickly. And it looks like we do have the big circle drawn around the Roshan, which is just under a minute from spawning. Everybody going to start vying for that positioning around the Radiant Triangle, around that top rune spot. GH walking in, wanted to try and grab the bounty rune. Is he going to terrorize back onto World 11? Cursed Crown already used up, self-Yules to try and save himself and buy a bit of time as Mind Control, he arrives. Arena in, catching time, they've got the cape down, the buyback from Willow. Ice Blast lands onto Ori and Poyo kind of stuck in the arena too, but they've got the Stampede. Coil catches the Spectre. They want to focus down Poyo real bad. Spectre's gone. No buyback on her either.
Nice spell casting there from Nigma.
Do they find
Non-overlapping spells.
They found PYW.
He's the king of the hill.
Is he the king? I don't know, he looks like the Joker to me. He's a jester stuck up there.
Yeah, great spell casting using Arena, not overlapping the coil, so Spectre can't move. And AA Blast were on point, once again hitting on the multiple heroes. Can't regen, like...
And no buybacks.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And you've got Miracle BKB at this point. Coming up to high ground. Oh, that blink. Tiny slips away, but DY unfortunately doesn't have that ability. Tiny going to get Yules up. Serpent Walls are thrown in onto them, but that Tiny demolished by them. And again, no buybacks for Vici Gaming. So their entire base is open season for Nigma to pick off these buildings.
Radiant's top tower.
Panel talked about how they don't have enough damage. This is why Miracle says, you know, I've got to get the damage. I'm going to be the tower damage. 25 damage talent plus the death. So phase shift attack on top of it. Now has a full BKB. Just some good stuff. He's been involved in 29 out of 35 kills. I think everyone is pretty happy seeing Miracle back on the mid lane.
Oh, absolutely. It's just absolutely glorious to watch. And Vici now, what, 2 lanes of racks down. Try and reclaim any semblance of map control, de-ward out their base. Maybe move towards the Roche pit. And they've got Haunt, and they should have the majority of their arsenal ready at their disposal to try and contest this.
Vici take this fight. They smoke. They have a big item, Gary. Shadow Shaman with a BKB plus Lens, he can go in, and if he does not get bashed by Ursa, it's not gonna stop. So they need to execute. Like, this could potentially be a big turnaround for Vici Gaming if they get there on time, which they won't.
It's too slow. They can't get there, and they're scouted out by the wards. Attempted terrorize, and look at that. The BKB's popped down by PYW, only to die to the right clicks of the puck. Miracle has the reveal to take down DUI2. Both supports gone for around a minute, and a 5 versus 3 that Vici have to deal with.
They also have a shard, they gave it to Puck. So you can knock them back, snap the coil,
Look
potentially.
I thought Ursa was going to hunt the Tiny. I mean, Ori is farming quite dangerously down there. RTW, I think, was considering moving into Triangle to try and find him. Only 1 lane remains, though, now. Lacoste down bottom. Vici have 1 lane to defend, but Nigma only have 1 lane to attack into with the entire set of ultis and abilities that we've seen them utilize so very well. I just need a bit of vision. Just need to catch a glimpse of someone here. And both Ancient Apparition and Mars are ready to make that jump.
Ancient Apparition can't die. 2 fluffy hats, 1 in the backpack. Eon Disc as well, sitting at 1800 HP at the moment. They're ready to go. They're ready to go on the high ground. Miracle just gets straight up damage. Right now has a Crystallis in the backpack. We'll swap that in once he uses the haste.
Yeah, get himself a bit speedy and then get the damage going.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Not
attack.
going to bother defending bottom tier 2. Far too difficult
Radiant's
in
bottom
that
tower
real hilly
has fallen.
terrain for Vici Gaming. So instead, opting to push out top, hold mid, and defend with everything they've got down at bottom. They start with the X12 stomp. Hold 11 just trying to chip away at ILTW, put the fear into Nigma so they don't straight push high ground. But look at MC. He jumps up there. He whacks back the Tiny, and now ILTW is in onto DY. Toss back the Ursa, but this Teddy Bear, he's not messing around now. They expect the Horn, but they lost their PYW Shadow
No
Shaman.
buyback on it.
Both supports are gone. Terrorize coming into the Spectre Illusions. I don't think they caught the real one. Miracle's going to have to jaunt away to the orb. Tiny wants it with a Centaur Blink, but he gets the cheese off. Survives the onslaught, and now the arena bashing up onto that Tiny. RTW clears them up.
This might be it, and they call it. They actually call it. One thing that I noticed, especially for IG in the Chinese scene, they call GG. They understand, like, we can't win this game.
What's done is done.
Complete dominance by Team Nigma in the second game. They were all over the place, like, not relying on the cooldowns whatsoever to take the fights. Puck, great itemization coming out from him, you know, getting that Witchblade being very active, couple of good rotations, and just great itemization overall. We talked about that Hood
Oh,
on
he's
Ursa.
so happy.
Well, he should be happy considering their performance in the second game.
Yeah, real beautiful stuff. I mean, I know a lot of the predictions were saying VG Gaming looking the stronger team coming into this, so now picking up a victory here for Nigma, super important for them here in the wild card. Well, that's it for us for this series. We'll pass it back to Rich and the panel to break down what we just saw.
Yeah, the casters instantly mentioning how important they think that this is for Nigma to be able to take a victory here. And looking at them now compared to when they were starting the day, I think it's pretty evident that this is going to be a morale booster. And they got another series coming up right after this. They're going to be our next series. But let's talk about how they were able to do it. Obviously, a very different second game, not only by result, but what we saw in the draft and how we saw them play it out, Kyle.
Miracle on a playmaker. 41 kills in, 30-something minutes? Like, that's the team I want to see play. It was the same during the DPC season where you'd see Nigma come out, they'd play fast, they'd get a win, and then they'd just slow everything down. This time they did it in the reverse order, but same results. Like, when this team gets a lead, when they have team fight, when they can actually battle and try to slay, that's when they look the strongest.
Even the question marks that I had about being able to take objectives were raised at some points, especially they had such a net worth advantage, didn't really have an iron grip on the map. Spectre was able to get out every once in a while, get some farm, but I never really saw the dire half of the map after like 20 minutes. I don't think Radiant ever crossed the river at a certain point. That Ursa was just all over them. It was suffocating. And like Kyle said, I think that's when Nigma's in their element.
Yeah, one of the really enjoyable things about having this series to actually kick off our day here in the wild card, obviously we're going to be watching a lot of best of twos, not only today, but over the next 2 days. And when we start off with this, we kind of get a taste of things to come. These are two of the teams that we're going to be putting under a microscope nonstop, two of the teams that you really expect to have that potential to maybe make it out of the wild card. And now we've gotten to look at both of them, and we've gotten to see a few different facets of these diamonds as well. So Kyle, we're going to take a look at game number 2, and let's try to peer a little bit more into that crystal ball and see what the future holds for us over the next 2 days.
All right, well, if you can make anything like this, you can see Nigma just all in aggression, tons of team fight. I really like Miracle's build on the puck. It's kind of similar to how we'll see Lena's played. It's the same concept, at least. Early on in the game, strong laners, they control runes, they shove waves incredibly quickly, but they're able to itemize in these newer ways that actually mean that their scaling and specifically mid-game damage output is both mixed and very, very high. And you can see Miracle just pretty much dominating this game. ILTW, as you stated earlier, Tsunami with the Diffusal build. This is definitely the way to be playing Ursa. Again, maybe it's an NA, EU thing, but we saw a ton of Battle Furies that always
don't
lose.
do it. Please never.
Never.
This Diffusal's the name of the game, especially since Abyssal Blade got so heavily nerfed that you have no real way to stick on a target. And Battle Fury, sure, you can farm faster, but you shouldn't be picking Ursa to farm. You should be picking Ursa to do this, to make a Spectre feel never safe on the map, to make sure that you are not a cooldown-dependent carry. Spectre, Haunt, super long cooldown. Centaur, nerfed in 7.29 did. Stampede, now 100-second cooldown. Meanwhile, Nigma are like, okay, do you have Dream Coil up? Great. You don't have that up? Do we have Arena up? Great. Do we have Ice Blast up? Of course, it's always up. That's how low of a cooldown that spell is. And Nigma just lived in Radiant's half of the map. And this is what I want for two teams that I consider to be ones that make it out of the wildcards. They better split the series.
Indeed, and I like this too, because moving on, Rich has been pretty adamant. There's just so much Dota to be played over the next couple of days, and they're even Stevens. So now you look ahead. Nigma, they're going to play Gambit immediately following this. Gambit's still currently playing against Secret. I can hear Suns fan and Cinderin just yelling in the background. Obviously hype over there. I think Gambit was actually quite even around the 20-minute mark, so definitely won't be a slouch here. And if you look at this, again, top 2 out of 6, it's not going to be enough to be a 50% team in this wild card. You're going to need to win a couple of these series straight out if you want to advance to groups.
Yeah, draws all around are just going to... I don't even think you'll be in contention for tiebreakers if you're just drawing all over the place. You're going to need 2-0 victories. And I don't remember what the original... So, Rich, you said that you and I differed on some predictions. Do you remember what you/Cinderin predicted for this series?
I believe it was the 3rd series of the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was this one a draw for you? Did you have Nigma? Did you have Vici? Did Cinderin have?
For this one, my pick,
Your pick.
which was the same as Cinderin's, was Vici.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks, Sind. but yeah, Sind definitely making my workload a little bit easier. I just said copy paste whatever Sind does, and I should be able to make it through this. That's pretty much been my strategy for the past 3 years, and it's been working out. It's been working out pretty well. But all things considered, I think this is one of the ones that you expect maybe to have the split. If you saw a team coming out with a 2-0, I think there were a lot of people who were kind of more on the side of Vici, expecting them to be a very consistent team, see some slight oddities, as you mentioned in that first draft. But let's talk about Nigma more, because now we get to see 2 very different games out of them. How do you think they're going to fare against Gambit?
It was like Kyle said, it was opposite dynamic from what we typically see from them in the DPC, where it's like, let's go really fast. Oh, great. We won. Now we can slow it down. No. Keep going fast. You're good at fast. Keep it fast. I didn't actually get to watch too much Eastern Europe. I know that was your specialty. I know traditionally Eastern Europe has been known for speed, but I think VP is really the only one that can solidify that. I don't know if Spirit and Gambit were able to do it quite as well.
It was definitely, VP, even just from hearing the rumors at the hotel, they're an S-tier team worldwide. And they certainly were in the region. They clean swept both seasons.
Yep.
They're insane. Spirit, solid team, but definitely I'd say one at least, probably more like 2 tiers below VP. As for Monaco Gambit, they also have the recent roster changes, so it'll be definitely shaky. Can they play fast enough? We'll see. I want to just quickly comment Miracle's build there. I loved the itemization. Witchblade, Deso, the early crit stick, a BKB, all these items, Blink, all below 4,000 gold. It allows him to pretty much power spike every 3 to 5 minutes, which I think is really key when you play these fast-paced heroes. And that's what I want to see him stay on. No more Morphlings. Maybe an Invoker for some, I guess just for style points.
Sure.
But more pucks, more TAs, something that allows him to get ahead and stay ahead and not be reliant, and also just stuns.
I mean, look, I probably gauge way too many of my life decisions off of chat, but just seeing how much chat's opinion changed from game 1 to game 2, they weren't fully spelling Miracle's name. I don't understand why. They just got to the first few letters, and then they had the lol emote. I don't know exactly what was going on. And then the second game, they're just like M God, instantly, completely turning the tide. So seeing just how much better game 2 went for them, what do you want to see them do when they play against Gambit?
Let's see, my biggest question mark in game 1 was ILTWs here. I still think that even...
That was chats as well.
Morphling is not quite the pace that perhaps Nigma are best at, but I think Miracle on the hero is such a surgeon that it doesn't matter. ILTW, on the other hand, I think that Lycan not going to happen. Don't go for a Lycan.
Now that you think about it, it looked all right on paper. I don't think the draft's the reason they lose, but Tricore of Darkseer, Morphling Lycan.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see that again throughout this tournament. I don't think we'll see Morphling Lycan again. As an offlaner, maybe the Lycan has some sort of viability.
Sure,
I've seen that. That's big in China. I like that quite a bit. But it's like your 1-2 don't really stun heroes. They just hit stuff.
Yeah.
You need stuns. Stuns are solid. And I think that what they've just shown here is what I would like to see. ILTW on a more aggressive carry, Miracle on a sort of semi-pseudo carry from mid that can make plays. Everybody else is just killing stuff. The GH Willow also has been very impressive from the DPC season and also in today's game.
Very important thing to keep in mind. It's funny. I feel like we did have a decent amount of time to discuss things at the start of the day, but I don't think I actually asked you guys, and I feel like now's a good time. Pretend that this matchup didn't just happen, that we didn't just watch this series. Who are the 2 teams that you guys, with no information, just looking at everything that you saw in the DPC League and everything a little bit earlier on this year, Who do you think is making it out of wild card? What were the two teams that you guys thought would?
It was
be able to make it
Vici
out?
Secret for me.
Okay.
The only qualification I gave is that Nigma is the hungriest out of all of these. Vici's in a little bit better spot because also if they do have to go through Chinese qualifiers, it's not as cutthroat as European qualifiers.
Yep.
But my favorites are still going to be Secret and Vici.
And I think there's an unspoken maybe rivalry here too, right? Where not only are Puppy and Kuro the only two players to have made it to every TI, but Puppy has been knocked out of TI7, TI8, and TI9 by Kuroki.
Liquids, though. Secret's one kryptonite, at least in TI at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Secret, you can argue, oh, well, you know, they have nothing to play for. They're already in TI. But they would really enjoy getting to sit at home in July, grab some popcorn, you know, still should have some left over from the recent feuds, and just relax. Watch the TI finals, but one of those teams just doesn't show up.
Man, these EU qualifiers. I mean, is there any way that it doesn't end up just being the craziest qualifiers that you could potentially have?
If Liquid has a miracle run and they make it to, I think Liquid only needs top 6. I think top 6 puts them in the you're
I think
pretty
top
good
3
area.
is like 100% guaranteed because there's a
Right.
lot of permutations where like a team slightly below them in points
Right.
actually
like if Execration doesn't
right
make
ahead.
Wins
something.
the entire tournament,
Yeah.
right?
So-
Like
so
those
Liquid-
weird leapfrogs.
Liquid needs to do well, and if that happens, then you only need to worry about Nigma and OG in the qualifiers because Alliance is also looking pretty good.
But if not, you have Tundra, you have Liquid, you have Nigma, you have OG, all for one spot.
And maybe even Alliance. They're
Alliance,
they're like 99.99.
99.94.
Yeah, it would have to be something really absurd.
Yeah.
And then also, one of the other things that you have to keep in mind, and I'm not enough of a 5-head, I'm sure somebody in chat's like sitting there right now, like, actually, but when you look at something like that, only so many of the crazy scenarios can happen because it blocks out some of the other oddities,
Yeah.
right? If
Right.
one team leapfrogs, then all of a sudden it will guarantee results for some of the other teams.
True.
It's hard to figure all of that stuff out, and obviously we're getting a whole bunch more information. We're getting a lot of that information today because we have in total 8 series that are going to be played out, all best of 2s. This is the wild card. Only 2 teams going to make it through these first 2 days. Then we're going to get to groups, and then we get into the action for the tournament, the real meat and potatoes. But as we take a look right now, these are the standings thus far. Starting to get a few numbers, a few tallies on the page, a little bit of binary.
Yeah, but so far, not much really surprising.
Wait,
you know,
what does this GD mean?
huh?
There was a G on one column, there was a D in the other column.
Games, draws.
Oh, okay,
You
so
never
Secret,
watched European football, huh? You've been out in
No.
Romania for 6
That's
months?
why AS Monaco Gambit is going to be my first exposure to it, I suppose.
Oh.
So Secret 2-0'd, Gambit 0-2.
Not yet. I actually don't know. We'll probably get
I
confirmation.
hear them paneling down there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Did Secret 2-0?
Well, they had a G. They had a 1 for their G. I don't know what that
You're just
means.
confusing me and the viewers.
Whatever the
don't know.
case, Gambit's the next series. Versus
Wow,
Nigma.
Right.
you should take this chair. Oh my gosh.
I've been practicing.
I have absolutely no job security.
You
I come
taught
back
me
after
well,
a year.
Rich.
Now this guy's got all the transitions. This is scary. This is very scary.
Coming
But
for you, boy.
I think that as we do look now, how clear is it going to be by the end of the day what you really expect to see? Because I'm trying to think about the one thing that I don't have in my head very clearly right now, I'll completely admit, just because I'm going to be sitting on this stream all day. Shiver's going to be sitting on the other stream. I'm not really sure which series are getting played out on her stream today. By the end of the day, how clear of an idea do you think we're going to have of the 2 teams that might actually make it through?
I'd say pretty clear. I think the Radiant stream is going to have like IG Secret.
Yeah, they have 3 Secret series,
Yeah.
2 IG series. This stream is going to have 2 Gambit series.
I really do feel like it's
Execration.
going to be the
Execration.
secret series that
Yeah.
this next matchup for Nigma is going to be really important for today, but those secret matchups are going to be paramount to try to figure out who is going to make it out of the wild card. We are going to be jumping to a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get into that Nigma matchup here on this stream. And we're going to see, are they going to be able to grab 2 victories, or are they going to start falling behind? We'll find all of that out and more right after this.
Guards in this game. I want to see some kind of silence, some kind of a stun, something that deals well with the storm.
This means Viper's offlane though, right?
Yeah.
So they have a Tuskar AA Morphling. I think they might look to try. Oboe. Storm is, but if he's the one you catch, then you can always reset the fight and get another round of spells.
Yeah, Viper's pretty sluggish. I want to see what his item build is going to be this time around. Maybe.
I haven't seen it offlane much. Do they play it a lot in Europe? No?
No, not really.
Okay.
He's been banned out most of the time.
You would pick the carry instead of Storm there, right? So you could like sort of hide where the Viper's going. Like right now, I think it's sort of easy
about,
for Nigma to decide how to shut down Viper.
Like a PL for Gambit, because they have no real AoE. Morphling does not like to play into mana burn. Supports are just the food for him.
They have the 24 pick, right?
Yeah.
So I think you will. I can see PL working for sure. That sounds pretty good. I think you do want to see that last hero though, especially like for a hero like PL. I was talking to BSJ and he said like PL is like pretty much the last pick or nothing right now. He's like the hero's not good, but he can still be picked if you have the perfect matchups.
Sure, but I think you can get away with that. Doesn't necessarily need to be last pick, at least from what I've seen. What is that ban, Rich? Let's help us out.
I do want to say really quickly here, 95%. You can see right now that guess the winners. That is a Twitch chat vote. 95%.
Oh, Twitch chat, they love Nigma.
They didn't even wait to see.
Aggressive tri-lane possibility, something that comes to my mind every single time I see Tusk, one of the best heroes. It's gonna be mid-morph, actually.
Okay, so running that back again after what we saw in game one. And now it's going to come down to Gambit. What are you looking out for here?
I mean, I think they picked Leicester, right? And I've had this matchup in my pubs a few times where like Viper goes against Leicester, and that matchup's actually really hard for Leicester. But he can remove the poison stacks, and I think Nigma's one of the best team at rotating their 4 like to mid and safe lane. So we will see like an early trialing come in for Naga Siren.
It's pretty much the same concept as a PL where you have diffusal blade carriers, something that they don't have the answer to. They had the last pick, not enough wave clear. They like these heroes don't deal well with the illusions. Lifestealer Radiance build not a thing anymore. I like this Naga. I
They
really
have
like.
no wave shove on Radiant at all. Or
Yeah,
Nigma,
like you
I
have
don't.
AA Tusk, they really struggle. Like Mars can, Lifestealer needs to sit there and actually hit the creeps.
It's actually very good versus Mars in lane. Like, he has to constantly throw a spear and just split your illusions, and you can win that lane with Naga Siren.
I like Gambit's draft. I really like what they got.
Okay, so we hear Lacoste right now in favor of Gambit's draft. AUI, how about you?
I also... I mean, the one thing that Gambit's lacking is, like, I think it's a bit unclear who goes in first. They have Nyx to sort of frontline for them, so that's good. But I also like Gambit's draft. I think Dream plays a really good Naga Siren, actually. And yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in this game.
How do you feel the tide of this game is actually going to play out, though? What are the big moments that you're looking for as we actually do get into the game?
I think most of this game's going to be on GH because this game's going to be on how Tusker rotates. Like, if he can make Leicester have a really good game, like, he's unkillable this game until Storm Orchid, pretty much. If they can do that and, like, just hold their safe lane control, then, you know, Nigma has a map to play. If that doesn't happen, I think Gambit should be able to, like, control the entire map with Naga and just out-farm them.
Gotta agree. I'm pleasantly surprised the way Gambit drafted. They utilized the last pick, and I don't think they have the answer for this Naga Siren.
All right, well, I love what you said to start off the panel, just the idea of Gambit right now. Are they rising to the occasion after having an extra pressure thrown onto the players from the players themselves? We're going to find out very quickly here if they're going to be able to grab another upset as we jump into the second best of two of the day.
And here we are, Gambit up against Nigma. It seems like Nigma trying to replicate some of their victory against VG Gaming with there's Mars, this Ancient Apparition, but the panel, and I know you were saying that you really like Gambit's draft and the way they can play the map.
Yeah, as long as they don't get smashed early, I think that they have really good ways to just keep the map, like, keep themselves hidden in particular, especially the Naga Siren. I think Dream, when he's playing with this team, he excels when he's actually not being forced to do too much. When I've seen him actually, because I've watched a lot of these Europe and CIS games.
Yeah.
When he's actually forced to get involved, he starts making these mistakes because it doesn't feel like he wants to be in these. I think Naga Siren actually fits perfectly the style that he likes to play.
So he won't get flustered, he'll just farm and build himself up.
And I actually, yeah, I mean, Aoi kind of took it right away from me, but I think it's eyes on GH this game to solidify and secure these lanes, because you look, and it's a Tusk Mars lane if he does want to play around my control, which is, it's going to be a little bit hard for him to really do much of anything to actually play aggressive. So I want to see him play with the tri-lane and just look at him, the rotations. A lot of times the way that GH has been playing, especially with Miracle now playing the mid for them, he rotates mid like 4 minutes. I guarantee you we see a TP. 4 or 5 minutes, GH is going to run mid, he's going to TP mid, he's going to try to make an aggressive play on the mid laner. And especially versus a hero like Storm, he could actually catch him off guard early on when he doesn't have that level 6. You can actually look to set up a gank there. So eyes on GH really for this game, and seeing if he does early go for tri-lanes, and if he does go for like pulling creep waves, because I think that's going to be the style, at least in the bottom lane.
For sure going to be a pivotal hero for them. And then kind of a similar thing here for the Nyx Assassin as well, right? He's going to be scouting out any movements that Nigma want to make, because it is a very team fight focused draft around that Mars AA, looking for those early engagements. And we know Immersion, how well he can do behind enemy lines, kind of catching stragglers or smoke ganks there as an early rage from RLTW. Get rid of some of that damage coming through from Afterlife, but they've shoved this wave really hard already under tier 1.
Yeah, this is the Afterlife special. He loves playing the Viper. He always does it. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. He always does Vipers, but this is a very comfortable Feral for him, so he forces the wave in, and then they just start messing with the pulls. You see the wards already coming out from both sides, so yeah, they've got it covered, and we're already seeing the pull. GH is starting to pull because he doesn't want to be this double melee versus Naga Siren, so he's going to start switching where the positioning of the lane is.
Yeah, start manipulating that creep wave. And then mid lane there, we've got Laurenov up against Miracle. Storm versus Morphling, which the panel was saying, you know, Storm Spirit can potentially slightly out-farm the Miracle Morph, but then you've got the threat of that damage onto towers and the runes that Miracle can utilize to shove back into the wave. But for the most part, you know, these mid lanes with water runes now very much just farm trade heavy.
Yeah, I actually love seeing like the aggressive Storms, and Laurenov, from what I've seen so far, very aggressive player, so he tends to just always get Electric Vortex level 3. So he's going to be able to try to bring it to the Morphling if he sees an opportunity, just pull him to even make him miss range creeps and stuff like that. It's really high skill kind of matchup that you can take advantage of, so eyes on Laurenov to bully Miracle a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking down those side lanes, BZZ. Just trying to track back onto GH, like you were mentioning, just dragging these waves around, making things a little easier for himself, has Emergent already starting his nonsense, kills off RTW's Courier with the boots on them.
Yeah, you see, Kuro has actually started boots on the AA, something you don't see too often because he just has to run. Yeah, ILTW is forced to actually rage and run away. This is a very tough lane right now for Team Nigma.
Yeah, we start to see the CS from the Radiant team getting ahead of their counterparts for the most part. I mean, Naga Siren, maybe consider her to be struggling a little bit, but that's more of an experience-focused hero early days. CS will come naturally as the game progresses into 10, 15 minutes. She'll be given all of that room to farm. So early laning stage, you feel like Naga Siren, not really important for her to have a good time down here, is it? Just dodge any kind of aggression from Nigma.
Yeah, they're manipulating creeps so much, right? GH, that's the whole job is these 4 positions when you're double melee in this matchup, so you're going to miss a couple because he's going to get the pull behind, he's going to deny like 2-3 extra CS, so that's what Dream is actually missing here. And he's versus Mars. Mars is one of the better actual laning heroes, and boom!
Yeah, that Viper Nix straight onto RTW. They're tipping him as well.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Well, they know that if they get ahead in this game, this Lifestealer is going to have like no recovery period at all. He's in a very tough carry matchup versus Naga Siren, and he's versus Viper in the game. Like your whole game is going to be pretty terrible unless you get right on top of him to start off with like an Infest Bomb. Otherwise, you're just Viper Striked. Every single team fight, you're going to be Viper Striked. So.
Yeah. And you got stuck there.
Yep.
All right, something we didn't get a chance to touch on much, but Lifestealer item builds. We've previously seen the Radiance, the Battle Fury. They're all come and gone. Nowadays, are we expecting this armlet with a Deso? What Halberd? What are we looking for RTW this game? Because he needs tempo, doesn't he?
Oh god, I mean you need to go armlet 100%, but there is a consideration you just have to go Maelstrom this game. You're playing versus Naga Siren. You need to be able to match core to core matchup at some point in the game, but might not work so well with their draft. So we'll see. I think maybe he ends up becoming more of this like utility Lifestealer kind of in a way for the Morphling to become the super carry. But yeah, already starting to fall pretty decently far behind inside laning start. And GH, he is starting to check, as we said, 4 minutes. Bam, there's GH. Has to check the runes, has to help out Miracle a bit there because he's falling behind. So Lornoff will not get a refill on one of these water runes.
Oh, there's lots of tips coming out. Kuro having a bit of a battle with Emergent.
Ooh.
Bottom lane, though, mind control. He's all right. Mars slips away from the Naga. And that snap fire down bot.
Juke the cookie. I think if the cookie actually lands on him, he might die. Yeah, they cookied an illusion, landed right behind him. So he did the step forward to dodge it. It was a nice play from Mind Control.
Well done by him. And GH, he's not going to accomplish much here.
No, he can't.
He's just wandering around, and this is what we were saying, during that draft, we love to see this Tusk with the Last Rank, the DP, the ranged heroes that utilize the tag team. But of course, they wanted this Mind Control Mars to set up team fights in that kind of period where the laning phase breaks down.
I'm a bit surprised that he didn't actually try doing the first pull wave, you hit level 2 on Tusk, and then you TP to the safe lane and you just get a kill. Because Viper, very immobile hero, but if they start getting an advantage top, they're going to chain the kill. And watch this.
And I've got the AA. Yeah, stuck out there. Emergent gets the stun into the Nether Toxin. And another one comes through for Afterlife. Is that earn charges for the Viper as well already?
Yep. I think you have to, honestly, I think you have to bring GH up here, or a +1 in order to try to set up to get ILTW to get a kill onto this slower hero like a Viper. 320 movement speed, if you get 3 heroes hitting him with tag team, he is going to die, but so far unable to get the foot, get their foot off. And Lornoff, he's going back to base, but he's level 6 already on Storm, so they can't actually set up for him anymore, where we might have seen a rotation if they did it earlier.
What do you think the goal is for Storm now at level 6? Is it sort of hide in jungle, play fog and farm, or do you want to see him TP rotate to get kills?
I don't think he needs to rotate with the way that the lanes are going, right? I think this is a game where he can play his greed, go for his Orchid, and then he's the counter to the Morphling completely inside of the game. So I think Lornoff can just play the mid lane, clip the farm. If he sees a rotation like being forced, if they're diving too far into the other lane,
he'll go for it.
Sure, he can TP, but I think he should just play his own game, maximize as much as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely. The Ancient Apparition is food for the Storm Spirit, and here's the move that you've been wanting for quite a while.
They need this.
GH. He's TP top, but Afterlife has already managed to dip away from any aggression Nigma was bringing. And now, Tusk is, TP top there. Mind Control's isolated down bottom.
They're going to try to get an aggro play onto him. Huge creep wave going under, too. They're trying to connect, pull it.
Oh, they get a bit of it, and a catapult as well.
They get a little bit.
The 2 range creeps going to follow through.
Look at the split illusions there done by Dream, too, putting 2 illusions near the wave. Just wondering if he was going to go for the deny. Won't be able to get it. Mind Control. Up to level 5. Not bad for the Mars when he's been kind of left on an island.
Yeah. He's getting something there. And Storm Spirit is starting to play the fog, as we've seen from Storms, kind of farming small camp, medium camp, getting himself back into the lane to stop the catapult wave from Morphling from hitting his tower too much. And
he's playing it very nice.
That's a nice vortex.
Oh, he missed
it.
He misclicked.
Oh, miracle.
He was trying to shift down stick and shift back up, but did not do the math.
Oh, you said the aggression from Lornoff, right? That vortex play back under that tower onto Miracle. Beautifully done by the Storm.
Oh boy, that's a big slip up. They can't have these mistakes this game.
He stops CS, he gets a kill on his counterpart, a solo kill. He's got a ton of gold, like rushing towards that Orchid. He's going to have it real fast. And now he's able to cut wave mid, farm up a camp, and accelerate even faster.
This is problems for sure for Nigma. Falling behind with this type of lineup is going to be very tough for them to recovering as they're countered in most of the actual matchups. It's going to be very reliant on my control getting some dream combos. So at least he's having a decent start. Net worth not so much, but his levels, right? Almost level 7 on the Mars. So he's going to be the big one to now bring them out of this very rough start for them.
Yeah, get them out of the rut.
Ooh, GH. He's also potentially got some vision here. Lornoff, he's stick charges. He's going to be able to zip past it.
Yeah, he's fine. But yeah, you're right. I mean, in the second game up against Vici, it was very much down to mind control with those big arenas, setting up the Ice Blast, the combos they've got. GH, he's in the wrong neck of the woods. Radiant Triangle. He scouts an Ancient camp, but he's going to get caught up by Immersion and Afterlife here. And he's tried to deny himself to the Ancients. Not successful, though. Nyx Assassin will take him out.
And Nyx is usually a hero that takes some time. Right? Like your first year laning start isn't really the most amazing, but as the levels get online, this hero becomes one of the strongest supports in the game, and he's already having a great time. He's level 3, he's got Tranquil's Raindrop, Windlace, he's going to be super active around the map.
See?
And my control.
Yeah, he's okay. Well, I don't know. He's alive. I don't know if he's okay. He's having some struggles now.
They've already got Medallion on the Snapfire.
Oh,
Plus
wow.
the minus armor from Riptide. This is a very tough lane for the Mars now at this point. Even if though he has this chainmail, the minus armor is very effective as they will get the catch.
Yeah, they will find that Snapfire. Pretty tanky hero, but still going to get blown through. Mind control and GH also take down the courier with a Blade of Alacrity on it. So Dream losing out a bit of his tempo. And Storm Spirit try and get a bit of revenge here. Good attempt on the shards by GH, but Storm always able to close the gap back onto him. Well, that's the first kill for Nigma though. Yeah, up on the board, a bit of a morale boost at least for them.
And they get the Courier. Courier is a nice thing too. It's going to slow down that speed because the Naga Siren was getting pretty out of control. Yasha was on the horizon soon. Top.
RTW rages away. Immersion thinking about that Impale, but holds it, knowing he's not going to get any real follow through.
Other thing about the Nyx in these type of matchups as well is Nyx, as we said, slow to start, but especially versus a hero like Lifestealer. Always Lifestealer's been like the king versus Nyx Assassin. You don't care about anything he does. You rage and just hit him, but yeah, Immersion having a very good start here, 2-0-1, sapping experience.
Especially if you're the one making the first move, right? If you're on the back foot against Lifestealer, you're having a rough time. You're making that first move against AA, against Morphling. This Nyx Assassin, once he hits level 6 especially, could find some pretty nifty openings onto some of these squishier targets.
This could be a good move here from GH. He's able to get on Afterlife. He's got the shards.
He's trying for it up top. Afterlife, the Viper drop in, 3 heroes surround him, and 9 minutes in, almost 10 minutes in, they get that tri-lane move onto the Viper at long last. They do grab the haste rune for Lauren off top, as Nyx Assassin is TP down towards bottom. Miracle's going to force a ball lightning back into that creep wave. Not really a bother there for the Storm, though, as it looks like they want to set up for mind control.
Look at how fast that was. Immediately hides himself off of the mid lane and instantly ports bottom for a kill. No
Straight down there. And they've got the chain stuns onto him, and he's spent his arena. Mind control still going to spear up the Storm Spirit. Any backup? Nigma, where's my team? Mind control's left down here against 4 heroes. Didn't stand a chance.
I knew Lornoff was aggressive, but my god, instantly makes the rotation with the haste rune. Miracle is capitalizing off of it, though, hitting mid tower. GH also playing in the area in case anybody comes up. So Afterlife, he actually has to just let this one drop. So, you know, the move is good to at least punish mind control, but at the same time, they lose an early mid-tower versus a Morphling.
Yeah, 10 minutes in that catapult wave. And they did swing 3 heroes back towards mid, thinking about trying to start a fight, but that leaves Immersion down on the low ground against the Morphling Tusk. Cookie to disengage. Waveform forward though, Miracle, he's hunting for a little bit more. They know Lornoff's low, the snowball towards the Snapfire will drag Miracle in towards that target instead, so they give up on the Nyx, get the snap.
Great moves from GH. Sitting around mid, just literally being patient, waiting for somebody to show up there, and he knows that he is the kill hero with this team. They're going to give Kuroki the lane. Level 6, we see the AA blast. It's already going to the base. Is Lornoff going to get killed by it? No, he'll be okay.
He'll be fine.
A nice try. Good attempt.
He'll delay his move out of the fountain a little bit. I mean, net worth-wise, looking like Morphling up at the top, Naga not too far behind. We've got a pretty tight grouping of heroes there. I think the surprising one for me is Lifesteal has managed to recover pretty tremendously out of that top lane.
And he is just rushing Maelstrom. He's not even going to go for Armlet, so he's going to try to counteract the Naga Siren. Kuroki
Yeah, that's Immersion's level 6, right? Finds the AA, and he's got Earn Charges on him. Kuro, he's got the Infest save. RTW races across with the phase boots and the turnaround from GH. Good carapace, but next Assassin, he's done for up there.
Nice team play coming out. They tip Kuro for baiting them in.
Making the calls. I'm baiting TP top. We'll turn this.
Help!
It does mean now, you know, the kind of natural movement for the Naga Siren. Ditch bot lane, move up the top for the tier 1. Claim some objectives as Gambit. Are Nigma ready to fight this? Are they going to bring the Mars top to start a battle here?
He can. There is a TP coming out from Viper down bottom already with the Storm too. Mind Control might get caught off guard from this one here.
Oh, he's not expecting it.
No, he's not.
Dream gets the tower top, the zip in onto bottom lane, and is that Mars being caught out? He could.
My goodness.
Thought he could do a bit more damage to that tower, but with that Nether Toxin and Storm's damage, is substantial.
It's such quick movements coming out
Straight
from them.
smoke.
Look, this instant smoke. I love the what is man. Gambit is on fire right now with the way that they're making these early aggressive moves, really recognizing the style that they want to play with this early advantage that they have on the Storm, just making Lornoff get very involved and just letting Dream do his own thing, right? Just let this Naga play his own game.
Yeah, it feels like wherever Immersion is, there's action. Feels like the Nyx Assassin's the one making the go calls. Follow me, let's smoke, let's make these moves. Dream is left alone top though, which means Nigma snap into action onto him, and RTW out with a killing spree.
Good move from Nigma. And now the smoke from Gambit is just going to be wasted. Immersion's going to be able to scout out some information. Oh, Miracle.
Oh.
He's shifting down.
Can he get it? And what's Miracle at? 560. He's got a Fairy Fire. I don't know, man.
Oh, he's being safe. He knows.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the zip, too. They see the Storm walking over.
He's got the stun and the zip in. They've caught Miracle out.
Got him.
Chain stunned beautifully. Absolute perfection in from Gambit. And Storm, he's going to ball lightning himself away. So not even a chance to catch with a snowball or an arena.
Can they get Immersion, though, for it, perhaps?
I'll try. He's got Carapace and the arena there with a spear, but in come the kisses. The counter initiation from Gambit. They blow up the Tusk. Mind Control. He's going to back himself up that ramp. Get to the safety of the staircase. But you need these arenas to be really landing and getting you kills right, because Mind Control's the main guy.
How much did he actually end up absorbing there? He absorbed the spear, he absorbed the damage from the punch. Just the Carapace alone absorbed pretty much everything there. If he didn't get it off at that exact moment, he's dead. They would at least get a return kill, but yeah, great Carapace from Immersion. Yeah, this is
a beautiful Nyx game.
Beautiful Nyx game for sure. And ILTW, as we said, he's recovered, but every single one of these Arena of Bloods that don't connect, that's kind of just going to slow down the pace completely from Nigma. They need to have these successful, because if you look at the side of Gambit, they're not nearly as cooldown reliant.
That's a minute you're letting Naga farm, basically.
Yeah. But they got the Naga. That is the important thing.
Yeah.
The Dream did get picked up before all that started, which was a very big one that Nigma did need. Now another tower.
Yeah, Morphling down to bottom. He's got himself an ultimate orb. Just a recipe away from Manta now.
Exactly. Lornoff already has his Orchid, so this is the timing here for Gambit to keep looking for plays, keep looking for any type of aggression. Nigma knows this. Look how they're sitting behind. GH and Kuroki at the ready to protect Miracle.
Very, very defensive. Patiently wait behind your carry.
Yep.
And here comes Immersion again. Another go call. Follow me. I will lead you to kills and action. And he'll try and scout them out. He'll see GH. Do they have any sentries? There's no reveal.
It's on the far right.
Yes, further off to that side, so they go on the Morphling straight away. It's pretty tanky and a great snowball. Ice Blast, turn around, onto the Storm, blow him up.
Ooh.
The streak taken down. And Gambit not bringing the numbers this time. Immersion might even get cut apart here as the Mars angling towards him. Immersion's out.
Just instant reaction from GH. If they maybe had stunned from the opener, I think Immersion, he wanted to get that little bit of extra damage. If they just stunned, perhaps they actually can get the follow-up for the kill. But yeah, just too quick there from GH. And now Manta's done. So that was your big move to make with the Orchid.
That was the window.
Nigma can react. Yep. And Kuroki being sneaky, getting deep wards down to see and be able to predict and, prepare yourself for these Orchid movements, having the Tusk in particular sitting behind that Morphling. They'll see these moves coming now.
Yeah, I mean, it very has much been smoke after smoke from Gambit. So if you can spot one of those out, vision and intel important for Nigma here, as they do ready themselves around that bottom rune spot. Afterlife with Boots of Travel.
Yeah. Viper, super immobile hero. So you always want to be able to join to these fights, as you know that the map's going to start getting kind of split up.
Back onto the Nyx. They want to squish this bug and get the pest out of the game. They've blown up Immersion, but in comes the Storm. Looking for the Ancient Apparition. He's got heals. He's got saves from the Lifestealer. Kuro, he's barely dying, but it's taken Storm everything he's got to find the kill as BZZ. Taken out by RTW. And Nigma on the retreat now. A little Vortex onto the Tusk. GH under that damage from the Riptide and Nether Toxin.
Radiant
Now, 2 for 2, all things said and done. I mean, all the support's dead and all the cores running back to farm.
Man, I love active Dota. Mind control able to farm during the meantime. He's got his blink. It was spotted, though. I believe that this courier actually did see the... this ward saw the courier coming out with it, so they should be aware that he does have blink dagger for the next ones. But some good aggressive moves from Nigma. Being able to punch back with this Manta-style Morphling. They're getting the Lifestealer completely back in the game, as you were mentioning earlier. Had a tough start, but he's 4-1. His Infest saves have been pretty top-notch so far.
Yeah, onto Kuroki every time as well, right? Because they're jumping the AA, you know that's your squishy target, the food for the Storm and the Nyx. So if ILTW is ready and waiting for it, get straight into the Ancient Apparition. And BZZ, he's got a lot of work cut out for him as the position 5 this game against Kuro, and he's got a lot of de-warding to do. He's got to try and figure out what Nigma are up to.
Sneaky wards too, as we mentioned earlier. The one that you put deep past that tower, that's one that almost never gets de-warded. And the sentry, it's not going to catch it, the one that they placed down there, so...
Oh, hello! They find the next assassin under a sentry ward. Try to blow him up, and that's Morphling finding yet another kill.
Kuro, during the DPC, I think one of the things that we did critique a lot of the times was the vision. They'd be actually quite lackluster on vision. This game so far that I've seen, he's been really top-notch with them. Sneaky wards, sneaky sentries too, being placed down to be able to watch these Nyx's movements.
And it's all in the, like you say, the places that they need to be moving towards or where they know that Gambit are going to be coming from. I mean, what's the next goal really here for Nigma? You know, we're thinking about Roshan, or is it going to be aiming towards that Radiant Triangle area? Nagasara, and you're hunting for her?
I think you can still just hunt whoever you see on the map if they're not playing that force game where we were talking about with like what the panel was saying too, where you shouldn't really see heroes on the map so much from Gambit if that's the style that they want to go for. So if Nigma sees anybody, I think they can just go for it. If they have the lanes in a good position, they can look for any type of fights with this big Mars AA combo. And that vision that they still have, they know exactly where all of Gambit is right now. They know that there's 3 or 4 heroes positioned around here. Immersion, he's going to sneak through Vendetta.
Any reveal?
Maybe this can get something done.
And sees GH. Immersion. And we're going to start on mind control here. He's thinking about it. Animation cancelling the stun.
He's so scared.
Miracle under a sentry ward as well. Invis Morphling. In comes the arena. Mind control started off onto BZZ and they just blow up the Snapfire. Grandma's gone. Miracle just walks straight back out. Nigma. The speed at which they jump in, find that pick. But the question is going to be your next objective. What do they get from it? Is that another kill?
They're just camping right outside
here. They want to get another kill from it.
This.
Yeah, they're going to get some chain kills going. Snowball save beautifully done by the Tusk yet again to get mind control away from the Viper. Infest is going to allow him to stick around in bottom lane for the tier 2. I mean, Dream did get a tower mid and he's pushing out multiple waves, but Nigma, that tight 5-man unit, looking really strong.
11-11. They've completely evened it out, and Gambit not really knowing how to slow it down at all. They're going for the Kaya here onto the Storm Spirit next, but very squishy, very vulnerable now on all 3 cores. They can't actually show their face versus anything of Nigma unless they get the initiation cleanly from this Nyx Assassin, who's just... It's not happening.
Let's stay in bottom. Dream, he's songing.
Ooh, let's see if he can catch him.
He's setting up for it. 2 heroes caught up in it. Now, what's the follow-through going to be? The cookie, the stun, the Nyx Assassin gets speared back, but he still catches out mind control. There's that Ice Blast, clips on the Dream, but Ancient Apparition blown up.
Nicely done from Dream.
That's a statement of intent by Gambit, right? 5 heroes, song sets up. We're coming to clear you out of our jungle.
They got the D-ward as well, too, which was important. That one ward was being pretty frustrating for them, and they're going to be able to claim their outpost back, which very important at this point in the game. So early that they would have lost it. Larnov definitely needs a BKB next item. I think this is going to be most appropriate. And I'm actually thinking maybe for Afterlife he might have wanted one too, but he's actually committed Atos. So he was going for the pipe build after bots, but going for Atos makes sense. You know, your versus like this Morph and Tusk, and even versus Mars can be pretty effective.
Keep them in that Nether Toxin.
Yep.
Maybe a nice little setup for the next stun.
I think that's the other thing too. They are lacking a little bit of catch in some situations where it can't just be immersion, because they'll walk in under a sentry and just die, and then they're missing a hero. So I do like that they at least have a secondary form, but definitely needs a BKB soon to be able to counteract versus the big Mars ult.
Oh, Miracle is Naga Siren now.
Yep. And they have a DD.
Oh, do they?
They do.
Into the Roche pit we go. And wondering what that next objective would be for Nigma. 21 minutes in, it's the big man.
so fast with the tag team with the Riptide too. It's gone.
It's dead.
They can't do anything about it.
Not a chance. Radiant scanned, but missed out on the Roche pit, I think, there. We saw the big green circle. So, yeah, he just grabbed up by Miracle, and they're jumping into high ground towards the triangle. There's the punch from GH. Kiss is going to land in onto MC, but RTW has the rage. Gets straight through the lava. Clears through the Nyx. And Miracle can just stand his ground and battle the illusions.
And he's about to have E-Blade. So now your supports, who have been already proving to be pretty squishy, even more so versus this. And it's going to be tough for you to actually target and burst anybody, because that's not really what their draft does anymore. The Kisses, since it's a 5-position snap, it's only level 1. Their burst damage is quite lackluster now on the side of Gambit. Nigma, they'll kill anybody they go on every single time with this AA, with this combo.
So do you reckon the Naga Sirens, the insurance plan, is it going to come to fruition here? Do they have enough time?
It's definitely looking a bit scary. The Morphling now being able to always turn into her as well, too, is problematic.
Oh, Lorenoff reckons he's so strong. See what he gets up to. Stormseer is back in Fountain, going to have to try and regroup there with the Snap and the Nyx Assassin, probably wanting to smoke across the map.
He's going to need a pretty explosive BKB timing. Like, once he gets BKB, he needs to get like 2 to 3 kills plus, and they need to get some massive map advantage, because they're really starting to fall behind right now.
Dream getting away from the spear. Arena from Mind Control, holding Naga inside. The Ice Blast, it comes through and clips the Naga, but in comes Nyx Assassin. Life Stealer there, munching away at her, and Dream's gone. Nigma holding onto their own triangle, while the rest of Gambit nowhere to be seen.
Dream's only died twice this game, but both deaths are so impactful. The positions that he's gotten caught off in from Nigma, he's nowhere near his team. They can't help him at all. So he's just dead to these type of aggressive plays, and it's a lot of time off the map for this Naga.
And GH just keeps on chasing Immersion here. Already spent the carapace, so that means Miracle is opened up for an adaptive strike. Immersion, he's popped his wand, trying to get into the fog and run away. GH gonna think twice about going any deeper.
I'm so strong, guys. I'm so strong.
Does have that blink dagger though.
And do we have the Mjolnir? Looks like ILTW is going the full counter build versus the Naga Siren, so really does feel that Nigma is in perfectly fine condition here. Only less than 1k gold behind, but that doesn't matter at all with the way that they've itemized, the way that they've played now too. This Morphling is by far the strongest hero on the map. And yeah, I think it's a lot of pressure now on Lorenoff.
Yeah, what, 3 minutes? Over 3 minutes remaining on the Aegis of Morphling. So that's going to be tier 2 mid, maybe even the entirety of the top lane. And this smoke, if they get a couple of kills, the net really closes in around Gambit and shuts them out of the map, because they've been playing wide open map, and now it's going to get real tight here as GH will start the jump onto Viper with the spear. The Viper didn't stand a chance in his own high ground triangle as Immersion trapped in the shards. And they've got the dust, the reveal comes, and even an Arena to secure the Nyx Assassin. Miracle, like you said, in that Naga form with these illusions, shredding through people so quickly.
Oh boy. They are unable to really make any type of initiating moves themselves at all now. Nigma having the double blink daggers, as we saw GH picking it up quite some moments ago when they catch the Naga down bottom. Now they can just start running over. Now they'll get perhaps Mind Control at least. Okay.
Do get the Mars, but leaves Lorenoff needing to use the BKB defensively, and he's spent all his mana, so can't even TP, it's on cooldown. BCC is going to be the target now. They go towards LTW, Kuroki. Doesn't have any stun.
He's still getting chased. The Storm.
The Storm.
Oh,
you're right. GH has got a punch.
Oh, boy.
Miracle finishes him off, and Storm's first BKB seemed worthless. Dead for a minute now as well, and he's still got his Aegis for 2 minutes on Miracle. So what's that, tier 2 mid? Control triangle, think about the rest of the map for yourself.
Definitely control the triangle. Just sit on this high ground here as now there's, man, it really just feels like there's nothing that poor Gambit can do anymore. They got these good timings early, but then nothing started to happen. Nigma just catching a couple kills off guard. Catching the Naga Siren once or twice has been pretty massive for them, and it's just easier for them to initiate.
Yeah.
Immersion, how many times now have we seen him just like Vendetta running around? He can't actually go on anybody.
He gets dusted, sentry, and he dies. Right, so, something the panel's brought up a couple of times is that ease of execution. Nigma, like we said, game 2 against VG Gaming, pretty similar draft they had there, so they've already warmed up and practiced with this kind of lineup team fighting, whereas Gambit is much more nuanced how they want to, you're explaining the kind of wave pushing and splitting out the map.
It hasn't been able to happen. Nigma's just grouping up, always expecting the movements first, so they're catching these heroes when they're trying to do that sneaky wave clear, as Dream's Courier also gets taken out here.
Nothing on it, fortunately.
And, they actually do have the song here to try to catch.
Any vision. He can't see anyone until he walks straight in on top of the AA Morph. They'll try and jump the Kuro AA, but the snowball save buys time as ILTW gets back onto Dream. Another strike onto the Life Stealer, but he's going to invest back in the Morphling. Aegis still in hand for about 45 seconds, so Morph wouldn't mind dying here, honestly. And that's it. Gambit have nothing left in the tank. They've spent everything. They get no kills. And Nigma just going to full hard reset and go again.
I can't believe they don't even get Kuroki. Again, just the double bailouts. I think the Infest plus the snowballs time and time again. Nigma on point with these saves. And they don't have a good combo. This is the next point I actually was going to get to, is sometimes we see these Naga Sirens able to work so well because you have some like black hole, something like an egg on top or something like that. They have nothing. Their combo is pretty much just Nyx Assassin runs in and tries to stun.
And then kisses on top, it's very very delicate way they want to start these fights.
And it really feels like they have 2-5 positions now at this point because of how slow Immersion's game has gotten. They have a level 11 Snapfire, level 11 Nyx Assassin who can't really contribute too much big into the team fights in comparison.
And you were very clear when you talked about that Storm's BKB timing. Oh, hang on a second, Immersion's running forward again. They are desperately trying to start the fight wherever they can. But MC, BKB Spear, back onto the Nyx, and in comes the Ice Blast combo. Immersion, Carapace and Cookie get him a bit of distance away from Nigma. A turnaround from Gambit, maybe here onto Miracle. Ball lightning in, the arena comes, but Miracle's BKB'd up himself, turns into the Naga, they lose the Mars. Nyx buys back as well, but this Morphling, he's shredding him. There's not much Gambit can do against it. It's a good stun for Immersion, but the rest of them on the run. Dream has been left isolated yet again. Punched into the air, and GH brings it back down to the ground with a bang.
That is actually so crazy. So he's doing he turns into the illusions and then shifts into morph form so that they're ranged illusions. So he has these ranged morphlings. He has 4 morphlings in the fights.
Oh, let's snowball back onto the snap as well. Oh, BZZ's gone. 3 heroes dead without buyback, and Nigma have taken an absolute stranglehold on this game now.
Did they even get it? Did they get at least 1 kill?
They got the Mars.
They got the Mars, but that's these BKBs just to get these 1 kills. This poor Storm Spirit can't actually get onto any. Too many saves. It really is too many different defensive aspects on the side of Nigma that they're using beautifully. They really are. These infest, these snowballs have been on point. And now it's like you go for this aggressive move with the Nyx, and you're like, oh my god, wait, they both have BKB. The Morphling and the Mars have BKB, and there's a built-in rage on Lifestealer, so you can't do much of anything.
So we have to do something. We have to do something, but what can we do? Running limited on options right now.
I mean, Morphling versus Nagasar, now it's just looking very Morph favored. If I ever see this matchup again, I'm probably just going to immediately side with the Morph too. You just turn into the Nagasar and you have 4 Morphlings, and then you Manta, and then you have like 7 Morphlings.
So many Morphlings.
No, 6, whatever, but still, it's a lot of Morphlings.
That's a hell of a lot.
Yeah. And now they've just continued to control this triangle during all this time too.
And I like what Mind Control is doing, right? Pushing out bot lane, making sure that Dream doesn't have easy access to like tier 2 mid or bottom lane. No way to get out and cut the waves.
Gambit's not being allowed to play the draft the way they want to at all anymore. Now the map is completely closed on them, where they want to be the ones actually in this position where they're the ones forcing the waves out without showing anything. It's actually just Nigma doing that themselves now.
It's like the worst place for Naga to be is in her own base, pushing out waves with illusions.
Look at these Morphling illusions. Look at them go. Top wave. All right, 3 Morphlings, going to clear that one out in no time.
They're nutty. Look at the damage they do.
Yeah, it's actually pretty insane.
I don't know, I'm thinking, like, is it worth buying Diffusal Blade on Morphling when you're up against the Naga Siren like this? Get even more damage out.
He doesn't need it.
No point in deviating from what works.
Yeah. Dream is getting out to the other side of the map, getting close to getting another item perhaps eventually, but it really feels like this, like the Viper in particular, Afterlife. His game has been just he's been where has he been, right? Like where's the Viper been?
I don't know.
After laning phase, he had this excellent game, but he's just a boss. He's a pipe. He's an Athos, but he's 3-2 and 3. He's part of 6 out of the 15 kills in the map.
Yeah, it feels like it comes back to that kind of 13 to 16, 17 minute window where the Nyx and the Storm are grouping up as a pair, and everyone else, again, playing wide open map, giving themselves up as targets for Nigma. Maybe if they'd gone as 4 or tried to group up a little bit more and left just the Naga alone, they could have got a bit more out of the map as Dream. Oh, does have a bit of backup here around her. Nyx Assassin can help out, but the Arena Spear, Ice Blast coming in onto Dream. The Song of the Siren not going to help you.
He's just dead.
Dead to Miracle with a double kill on the Morphling.
GH, as we said, one to watch this game. 19 of their kills are because of him so far. Yeah, he is 19 out of 23 kills. His Blink Dagger came super early too, and he literally has been reading the map perfectly so far this game. This Tusk, on point, level 17, same level as his off-lane Mars. Yeah,
he's all over the place in a good way.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Up in the faces of Gambit, and again, we make this move as Nigma, right? Straight down the mid lane, look for the tier 3.
And Miracle, he's got illusions, he's got mantas. Once the Naga comes up, he's going to have more illusions. This game has gotten to the impossible realms now.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, tier 3 barracks, they just cease to exist. Disappearing under that structural damage from Nigma, up towards the top tier 3 as well. And Gambit, well, they need to pull something out of their hat here. Something drastic has to happen to stop the onslaught, stop the bleeding. Kisses will delay this inevitable Rax push to kill the illusions. You're right, Fogged. They got him.
They got the illusions, but the Rax... Oh, it actually survives. 80 HP, okay. That feels bad. Kisses to kill some illusions.
And Roshan's alive, so it's kind of perfect timing for Nigma here. And, is this a move that Gambit want to make towards... Can they make it fast enough?
I mean, they're just going to have to try.
Roshan's already dead.
Oh, no.
they're moving across. There's dire
GH is
walls.
already in position.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to get straight on top of them. Dodges the Rod of Atos too, and in comes Mind Control with the Arena Rebuke. Spear trying to aim onto the Viper. GH is silenced and netted though, so the Tusk will fall. But Age is already gathered up by Miracle, and a Song used defensively here, while Rage and
still on them.
BKB straight towards the Naga Siren, force out the Manta, any kind of illusions to play around with. But Dream's going to get chased down here. E-Blade, Spear misses, gets off a nice cookie as well. BZZ buys the space as Dream, he does escape, but the cost is dear. And Kuroki's found BZZ.
He's trying to drag. He's trying to get to the wave. He wants to kill before they can actually push. Get that wave. Oh, he cookies backwards. Oh, he's going to get a kill.
Try to get a kill on Kuro. Scout Blast, no. Saved by the spear, and in comes the cavalry from Nigma.
He tried. It was a good effort.
Good idea, good plan. Not working out for him though.
Again, every time it's just they're getting jumped on. GH does eventually die this time, but he did his job. He gave all the information for his team to get the perfect jumps onto the heroes, and now into the base to finish off that Rex. That was 80 HP. Now there's an AC as well on ILTW. And of course, we didn't mention because it's been getting kind of quick, but he gets one of the better items versus Naga too. Cloak of Flames on Lifestealer, so
that's great.
They can just end this game, more than likely though.
They're on tier 4s, yeah. There's a glyph out from Gambit. Try and get the Snapfire alive, and she'll have kisses when she respawns. It's just a struggle to see what exactly Gambit can do to start a fight, extend the fight to the point at which they can get more than just one kill. Because Nigma have so much.
I mean, they're just ending it. They gotta do something.
They're gonna try. I mean, Miracle just on your throne.
He's killing the base.
He's just killing the throne. I mean, there's no glyph. There's nothing to save it. That game's over.
It's over.
Nigma take game 1 against Gambit. I mean, it's a good draft from Gambit, good attempt, but Nigma with a momentum from that victory against Vici Gaming, really showing this Mars AA in particular.
Yeah, the Mars AA and just the way that the Morph and the Tusk actually controlled the game was pretty beautiful. The read of the map is the biggest thing. I think the biggest moment for me really was that bottom fight where Orchid comes out for Storm. Manta's not finished on Morphling that. GH gets the snowball save. That kind of just sets the tempo, sets a huge opening for Nigma to pretty much just run away with the game. That plus catching Dream the one time, they shut down his entire net worth.
Like top of Roshan, then back in the dire triangle here. He found Dream a couple of times. And you mentioned the Storm Spirit needed that Orchid timing and the BKB timing to net himself 2, 3, 4 kills off the back of it. Wasn't able to do so. I mean, their panel saying they like the draft from Gambit, so it's a good step forward. You know, it's just that the fact that Nigma seemed the stronger team in this series anyway. But yeah, what do we expect from Gambit and Nigma in game 2? The same kind of draft and aggression, or do you want to see Gambit speed things up a little bit?
I felt like Gambit's aggression was actually really, really good this game. I think just some crucial timings got messed up, right? The Nyx Assassin not getting that stun to cover versus that Orchid timing. Dream also getting caught while they're making a smoke movement at the same time. There's just a couple things there that really crumbled and Nigma took advantage of.
I think the panel's
fights. The save potential was there. GH was popping off. Overall, very satisfied. Coming into this tournament, Nigma looked shaky, but man, they look crisp. Even after losing game 1 against Vici Gaming, it was still a very competitive game. So, they have this momentum as well. So I'm not really worried for them coming into the game number 2.
Yeah, it's starting to feel. If
you can feel it.
Yeah, if you're sitting here as a fan of them as well, which we know there are definitely a lot of fans watching. After that last vote, it was like 95% in favor of Team Nigma.
Chat is super smart. If you have any questions about mechanics or anything, just type it in chat. You'll get 6 different answers. Just pick one.
All be correct.
Yeah, probably.
You're good.
That's how I've learned everything that I know. I mean, just think about it this way: if every single person in chat has 1 IQ, the cumulative IQ is like 50,000.
That's a lot of IQ.
That's a lot of IQ. A little bit of NA math there.
That was quick math.
Yeah, that was very quick.
That was
very quick.
Math, indeed.
I just added up 1 multiple times, and we might see another 1 get added right now to the scorecard here for Team Nigma as they go up against Gambit. Again, the question is, what's going to change in this second game? Let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that some of the patterns that we started to see coming out from Team Nigma now that we've seen 3 games from them in a row.
Yeah, I think something important that Puppy talked about during the last major was hero pairings, how he tried to break up the certain hero pairings. I think for Team Nigma right now, what I'm seeing, and it's a small pattern, but AA plus something that can keep them in place, Mars 2 times in a row, maybe you need to ban out one of these 2. Just try to split them up.
Yeah, just try to target the pairing instead of going. It definitely.
You don't necessarily need to ban both of these heroes. It's just split them. Easy math. You ban one of these 2, 50% of the strat down the drain. Quick math. Yeah.
Really solid numbers there. Really solid numbers.
I agree, though. I think that AA is a problem. I think how Nigma plays, the reason why Gambit couldn't split up the map and try to make their plays is because they were just so quick on killing them. Anytime they saw something, like AA and Tusker were there, and they just blew up a hero.
You brought that up the second you saw the AA as well.
Yeah, that hero's scary.
Yeah.
He ruins all my games in pubs, so...
Yeah. That was one of the first things I think you actually said when we started the draft off, just the AA is really going to change the entire course of this draft. So maybe that's something we will see as we get into the second game. Maybe the AA is going to get a little bit of attention.